All right, everyone. For this episode, we're going to go ahead and put out a warning for you. You know, normally we probably aren't the best with controlling our language if you have children around, but I mean, the topics we cover are generally safe for kids. We just might word it a little bit weird, and that's just up to you on what kind of language you're okay with having your kids hear.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, for this episode, we would strongly recommend you keep your children out of the room.
Yeah, go ahead and get them out of here. Little Billy, Tommy.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and leave.
The topics in this one are going to get a little heavy. We don't want demonetized or any of those issues either.
Yeah,
so it's not like
the video just taken down completely.
So we're probably going to avoid certain vocabulary anyway. But just because the topic itself is maybe a little graphic for children.
Go ahead and tell them to go to bed.
Thank you. I'm Shane.
And I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back.
All right, guys. Well, we've already gave you a little bit of warning.
Yeah.
You heard before, you're hearing us say this now. We got a heavy subject to talk about, but before we get there, we'll go ahead, we'll hit our socials. First one you're going to find us at, obviously, our Facebook page. Again, we're seeing lots of interaction there.
Lots of people.
Loving to see you guys.
Right.
I still don't understand this chicken and egg thing on if you're finding
how
us.
you found it, but
yeah, but either
welcome
way,
all the same, right?
Just in case this is the first place and then you find us there, I'll go ahead and tell you how to get there. It's going to be facebook.com/Kentucky Fried Critics.
Woo!
Instagram, also easy. Again, owned by Meta. It was really easy just to get the same one across both of them.
Exact same one.
Speaking of which, we also have a Threads. You know, it's like the replacement to Twitter. I've not used it since maybe like the 4th episode, 5th. It exists.
It exists though.
If more people try to follow us there, I might start trying to be active again.
Do something on it.
At the time I made it, it was when we were just starting and it had just started. So I figured let's reserve the name.
Go ahead and get it out there.
Right.
That's a good idea.
It is there. There's just nothing active there for a long time.
But if you want to start doing stuff, we'll jump on there.
I guess I almost forgot to say, both of those are also, like I was saying, for Meta, just Kentucky Fried Critics. Everything at Meta so far, we've been able to retain just Kentucky Fried Critics. So our YouTube, of course, that one's going to be the first one that's a little bit different.
It's the redheaded stepchild of the family.
Stands out. It completely stands out. Because again,
really does.
We've got some that are different, that are still close, but this one just stands out completely.
Yeah, it's out on its own.
But again, we've found our fun way to tell you how to find it. So again, this one is going to be at
KFC Riddicks.
That's right, KFC Riddicks. Again, don't ask us what a Riddick is.
If you have ideas on what Riddicks may be, I want to see it in the comments.
If you're an artist, draw us a picture.
Yeah, draw us a Riddick. That'd be awesome. Not Chronicles of Riddick.
No, because it's spelled different.
It's spelled way different.
Yeah, this isn't like R-I-D. This is R-I-T.
Yeah, R-I-T-I-C.
Yeah, Riddick.
I spelled it right. I'm proud of myself.
So if you guys are so inspired, maybe that would be another mascot. Maybe we could rotate mascots.
Ooh, there we go.
Like we could do them, change them up every now and then.
Pictures in the background, we just rotate them out.
Oh,
that'd be cool.
So if anybody out there is so inclined to design us a Riddick, go for it.
Hell yeah! Well,
it's all up to you.
We need a KFC Riddick.
All right, guys. So, like we said, YouTube though is standing strong at that. We may change it. We want to change it. We want to make it uniform somehow. But at this point, I'm starting to kind of love it a little. Maybe we will keep it. I don't know. At this point, we just mainly can't change it because we've had so many people find us recently that we don't want them to not find it.
Yeah.
They've already found it once.
Go look for it and be like, it's gone.
Yeah, we don't want them to think that we closed up shop already.
No, we didn't abandon you guys. We're still here.
That's promise. Right. That being said, before we go on to any other socials, normally we do a little wrap up of this at the very, very beginning. This is episode number 26. So like we had said, this is officially 6 months. So again, we're not folding in. We're not wrapping up. We're keeping strong. We're doing good.
Power ahead, man.
Damn straight. The next social place is just our website.
Yeah.
And this is, this is the one. This is the one.
The one.
This is going to be the one. So if you want to find us here.
I gotta loosen up. Get ready for the dance.
Get ready. Pause yourself so I can get through it.
I'll let you get through it. Go ahead.
This is the one, though, in case you need to find us. Our hosts at Acast have provided us a website. So it's shows.acast.com/Kentucky-fried-critics.
Woo! I love my hyphens. I'm going to start the cult of the hyphen. We'll all get tattoos, little hyphen on your hand. Okay. People will be like, who? Somebody marked on you with a pen. Like, oh man, it's a hyphen.
And as we pointed out every time, the episodes have even more.
Oh yeah, dude. One of these days, I'm going to just we're gonna do it. We're just gonna take the longest freaking quote from a movie, and that's gonna be the title. Just hundreds of hyphens.
Count up the hyphen count.
Right.
We'll just let the whole episode title be the entire dialogue of the movie.
Right. There you go. We'll just like scan it in somehow.
No, that's just it. If we want to do it, we have to put the dedication.
We actually have to sit there and type the entire script in, right? Camera movements, all that shit. That's
me. That's my... If we're going to do it, we got to do it. We got to put the work in. We can't cheat it.
I might have a hyphen overdose at that point, man. I don't know if even I can handle that many hyphens.
Then the last social that we always hit you with is, again, the most original of all socials. It's the email. You got to get a hold of us somehow. If you want to get directly a hold of us, that's the way to do it.
Pitches, ideas.
That's right. If you got some ideas, if you got some beers you want us to try, let us know.
That's where you send it. Send it to the email. You can say funny memes and guesses on all the other stuff. You want to send us an idea, you got to email it.
Certainly the best way.
Yeah.
I mean, you can message us directly in other places. But
email, I forgot that's a thing.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm old.
You definitely just want to put those in the direct to us.
Yeah,
you don't want it to be anywhere that's
public.
Posted.
If it's public knowledge, it's like, well, we can't use that one.
Well, we could, but it just goes to the back.
Yeah, it goes to the back so people will forget.
That's right. It won't be fresh in their mind when we do it. That's the whole idea there. Oh, we almost forgot to actually say what it is. We went off on our tangent.
The email. They need the actual email.
It is. Although it is simple. It's another one of those easy ones. So it's KentuckyFriedCritics@gmail.com.
With a distressing lack of hyphens, but I'll let it go.
I mean, that is definitely one. If you wanted a secondary email, we could run two, and we could definitely just... I could run the one, and you could...
just for me.
Yeah, I could run the one, you could run the other one.
No,
we could do that.
That's okay.
I'm just saying. It's not that hard. Gmails are pretty easy to set up.
Yeah, I know. Even I have one.
See? Just putting it out there. If you want to control some hyphen... If you want the hyphen power yourself...
I will control all hyphens in the universe.
We could certainly let you control some of the hyphens. All right, that's nice and fun. I'm glad we had a lot of fun because I'm not sure. I mean, obviously you guys know us. We can't just talk about things and not have a good time.
Yeah.
As the disclaimer before we started told you, this is maybe a little heavy.
This is a hard movie to laugh at.
There's some moments.
There's a few parts, but there's a lot where you're just like...
Well, and even the few parts that do, you feel bad because you know what happened before.
Yeah,
and
you're
if you've seen it before, you know what's about to happen next.
I shouldn't laugh at this, but it's still a good joke.
Before we go any further, since we did not actually tell you what we're covering yet, this is A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, if you didn't guess from our beer for this week.
Yeah, that's right. What beer is this? I'm sorry. I got ahead of ours.
No, it's fine. It was an easy one. I mean, the can is orange. It's a BrewDog's Brewing Company's Clockwork IPA.
A tangerine
infused. It does. It's very orangey.
Very citrusy. Yeah, it's good so far. We've not had very much, but we'll give you a better review
at the end.
But yeah, certainly for the first couple sips, I mean, I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it doesn't have that like kick you in the face bitterness that most of them have.
Well, not even that like Pumpkinhead ale.
Ugh.
That one was one that, I mean, before we even started, we immediately told
we were
everybody,
like, no,
this
it's bad.
Is rough.
It's bad. Don't drink it. I'll still tell you that it's bad. Don't drink it.
But this one is not that. This one is definitely like the first taste was pleasant.
Yeah,
I was definitely it was good.
I was like, ooh, orangey.
With all that being said, we can definitely just get started
with this darkness.
I will point out this was all Bo.
Yeah, this was my fault. I don't know why I did this. Why did I do this?
I don't know. I gave you the subtle like back out too. Like we were literally in the liquor store trying to come up with ideas. We came up with a ton of them, and you kept going back to it. I'd be like, I think we can come up with a couple more, and we would. And then you'd be like, I was like, all right, let's pick out the ones we like the best. And you were like, Clockwork Orange, and I was like, all right, man.
I don't know.
It is perfect. I'm not denying that. I'm sure many of our fans.
While I was watching this, I was like, why the fuck did I do this?
Okay, this is one of those weird ones to say. It's a good movie, but I don't mean that in the way of like, this is high quality entertainment.
I prefer to say it's a brilliant movie.
Okay, yeah,
that doesn't mean it's good. It means it's brilliant.
It has a good message.
It has a lot of... And all the camera work, and it's got a lot of like high thought to it and shit. It's one of those movies.
Now that being said, there's a lot of graphic.
You're not gonna sit there and be like, "Oh man, munching your popcorn."
Yeah, there's a lot of graphic nature of shit going on. It's a movie I would suggest many people watch once.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of the, if you're a movie buff,
you should watch it.
You should watch it for the historical place it has in film, like most of Kubrick's work, unfortunately.
Yeah. Even beyond that, I would say it's another thing. It's good to watch to get a good idea of like just how wild the 70s were in cinema. Yeah. This is like, it's avant-garde indie type filmmaking, right?
Yeah.
But on top of that, even by today's standards, you wouldn't see that. Like independent people still have like standards that they try not to break.
There's shit
if they want people to watch it.
You will not do stuff that they did in this movie now.
In the 70s, though, they just, dude, you know, they were like, let's push the limit.
See what we can get away with. And then they found
what the new limit was, and it was people watching these ones and saying, yeah, the new limit's about 5 feet back that way.
Right. It's like, you need to go back, step it back a little.
We let you guys have free reign, and maybe we shouldn't have. Now we learned, and the lesson is this one went too far.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's a good summation of it.
There are a lot of movies in the 70s that are very much like this. Like, they just...
Suspiria. That's a really fucked up one.
The Deliverance is in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
That one definitely pushes some boundaries.
That one pushes some boundaries.
You know what I mean? Like, there were some things in the 70s where they just really...
Last House on the Left.
Yeah. Then, you know, they just... Both the topics and the visuals sometimes cross some lines that...
The camera could have cut at certain points, but it doesn't. You know, like you could have just left some stuff to the imagination, but they're like, no, we're going to show it. We're going to show you all of it.
Now, that being said... while doing our cursory little bit of research that I've done for this one, I did learn that apparently both me and you have 100% never even seen the actual original cut. Not that it's very different, but there are slight differences, such as during the forced sex scene. That's maybe the way we're going to go with saying this, so that way we don't offend any of the people listening.
Yeah.
And we don't mean you listeners. We mean overlords from YouTube and podcasting platforms. But during that scene, it was more intense.
Oh, shit. This is the trimmed back version we saw?
Yes, because in the original, there was more below the waist, and there was more of the individual, each one of the gang members, the droogies.
No.
Instead of just seeing...
Yeah, I'm glad we cut that back.
Yeah, so again, we've never seen the actual cut.
Well, thank fuck, I'm not gonna go look for it.
No, me neither.
It's not not like a new hidden version of Blade Runner or something.
Yeah, no. And I think there's one other small change somewhere, but again, like we're not talking like huge. This is we watched the reeled back version.
Thank God.
And I
guess
I would say it still assaults a lot of sensibilities.
The first 30 minutes are really hard to watch, but once you get past that 30 minutes, it gets better because bad shit starts to happen to him, and you're like, oh, good.
But
fuck him.
But then you start to get into that part where you start to battle with, is it okay?
Should I be feeling bad for him at this point?
Or at what point do I start to feel? At what point is it a cross too far?
Again, that high thought.
Yeah. There's
shit.
There's things to dissect while we're talking about it, but for large parts, we definitely understand this movie is definitely not necessarily just like straight. It's not that it's a lazy Sunday. Let's put back something entertaining.
No, this is the one you pull out to show your buddies to make them go, what the fuck?
And if you want to have like some really, again, heady conversation.
Oh, yeah.
You play it to your intellectual group.
Oh, yeah, when your buddy in film school who came over, he's like, oh, man, let's watch this and talk about it.
That's kind of what this movie is really good. Those situations.
I think that's how this movie just kept going is because of stuff like that. The shock value and the intellectual people really breaking it down.
Well, again, we've already addressed, you guys normally know, I'll tell you who's in the movie, and I'll tell you, like the director, if it's something that means anything to us or you as the public at large. This time we've already mentioned it, Stanley Kubrick, who is famous for some good movies. People know, they put him on a higher pedestal than I think he needs to.
He's not.
He makes some decent ones.
I like to say he does half good movies. He'll do half of a good movie, and then he doesn't know what to do with the rest of it, so he just kind of fills it in.
Well, and sometimes it's the beginning, and sometimes it's the end. It's never
or the middle. Even
it's nothing against him.
He goes in with a really good idea, but then the genius of him like actually filming stuff takes over, and you kind of don't pay attention to the lack of.
Yeah. To mention a few of his movies, just so we can get those out there, we've got The Shining, which again, Stephen King even had some issues because he wanted it to be like it was his vision, and Stephen King's like, no. I wrote a book. See this thing?
You ever see this book? See the book that I wrote?
This is my vision,
my intellectual property. Follow the book.
I'm letting you do this,
right? Like I asked for you to do this.
So he did The Shining, then 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah,
that's a Kubrick.
That's probably the most famous one, I think. Yeah, that and Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket, which again is
and that one's more Arlie Ermy than him, really.
Well, and that movie is one of those things. The beginning is great.
Yeah.
I love the
basic training
the weird moral they're trying to tell about the military then. I feel like it gets lost once we actually see warfare, because I'm like, what are we trying to learn now?
Oh, it just turns into your standard anti-Vietnam movie after they go to basic training. It's like, oh, I have a peace sign. I don't want to be here. Oh, no, one of the bad guys is a woman. What are we doing
But
here?
The beginning was way more intellectual.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
it was way more thoughtful.
More thought-provoking, because it was like, look at what we're doing to these people, and it's not even war yet.
It's not even war yet.
Is this okay? Should we desensitize people like this? As soon as it's done, we don't barely talk about it again.
Right. After they go to basic training, the most famous scene is the sucky $5 soldier boy. That's the most famous scene after they get out of basic training.
I agree. It's one of those movies where I was so enthralled when I watched it the first time in the beginning, but then it goes to war, and I honestly, right now, sitting here today, having not watched it, and I don't know how long, could probably barely tell you a lot of the things that happened after war.
I watched it like last year. I still couldn't tell you half of what, like.
But I could tell you almost scene for scene what happened in the beginning.
Basic training. I tell people, I'm like, you can just stop. You can just turn it off after they shoot Arlie Ermey and shit. Just turn it off.
We don't need it.
Movie's over.
Done.
That was it.
That's Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, he does half good movies. He doesn't know how to do a whole good movie.
The only other person that I can say of importance to mention, again, this is coming from us as an American audience. This is not trying to downplay any of the other actors in the movie, because I'm sure they might have prestigious careers in England, but they just weren't in the kind of things that made it over here. So I don't know them. They could be prolific British movie actors or British TV shows, but
unless they were on Doctor Who,
right? Like unlike most things here do make it there, most things there do not make it over here. So it's one of those, like, I'm not trying to downplay any of these people by not mentioning them.
It's only been like the past 10 years where we could really get British TV shows and stuff.
And so again, I'm not trying to downplay. So if you are one of our British listeners and you want to tell us how important some of these people might be and what they are in, tell us.
Yeah, tell us if there's anybody in other stuff. I love
or if they have connections back to things that we've done, like weird connections, because you guys know that we love when we have a weird connection back to something we've already done.
Let's hear it for those people,
right? So let's hear it for those people. So if you know any of those people that are in this movie, tell us, because the only person that's important to most American audience people is going to be Malcolm McDowell.
Yep.
I cursory looked over this, and I did not recognize any names immediately, so I didn't do a whole lot of further digging.
No.
Malcolm McDowell, on the other hand, is somebody we all know.
He was in Star Trek.
He's in lots of things. Most importantly to me, Tank Girl.
Yeah, Tank Girl.
He's the bad guy in Tank Girl. I love that movie. I love him in that movie. And most importantly, that is the version of Malcolm McDowell most people recognize. Not from the movie, but the way he looked at the time that movie was made. Like, that's when he was rocking the white, slightly spiky hair look that he had. Because he did that for a while.
Oh, yeah. It was a long time.
It was a big chunk of the 90s.
He even looked that way in Star Trek. He had this spiky hair, but they put the shit on his face like they like to do.
But so, like, that's one of those reasons why I like to point that one out. Because it's if people see him, or if they go to look it up and see just a picture of him from that movie, that will help them know if they know him or not, because that's what he most likely looked like in anything else they saw him in.
He was also like 10, 15 years younger.
Came out in 1971.
Yeah, so he was like...
He was pretty young.
20.
I'm not sure. But yeah, and it's definitely one of his earlier ones.
Oh, yeah.
Again, it's 100% the first thing an American audience
that we
saw
him in.
But beyond that, there's not much to say about, like, who's in it and any of the background other stuff. We've covered Kubrick. This is definitely in line with some of the other things. He was a very... Again, this is at a time before you would really throw the concept of, like, independent, because he definitely got backing from somebody.
Warner Brothers gave him money to do this.
Or someone, even if not them, before he pitched it to them, someone did.
Yeah, somebody did.
It was a different scene in the movie industry in the 70s than it is now. Like, now independent means a completely different thing. Now, almost anybody can shoot an independent movie.
Yeah,
and you still have literally no budget. Back then, independent still meant you had some kind of money. It was still done on a budget more than what an independent movie today would be made on. So, like, it's different.
$100,000 or less, probably one of those.
Yeah, but even then... Like we had said, it's just totally crazy. Like, the things that they got away with as that type of director in the 70s. And this is definitely one of those. He got away with some crazy stuff.
Because he was Kubrick.
And so instead we'll stop painting this in broad strokes and just get into the movie now, I guess. There's nothing left to really do anymore. We've covered a lot of stuff.
We can't put it off anymore, man.
We just have to get to it. I know.
We just got to get through the first 30 minutes. It's going to be okay.
So we'll start where I always start. with the music. Man, this was intense.
This is some creepy synthesizer music.
It definitely
makes you feel like you're gonna panic,
like foreboding, right? I didn't even realize just how creepy it was. As many fans know, if you've listened to enough episodes, my son likes to randomly come in to be part of an episode. Mine and Bo's deal with him has been, as long as he wants to watch the movie,
he can say something.
I told him he could not watch this one.
Of course.
But it was after I had already started watching it, right? And so he had heard music from the other room, just heard the music. And so after I told him he could not watch this one, he just goes, because it's scary. I said, it's not scary. And before I could finish like trying to be like, that it's not scary, but it is intense. Like trying to explain it to a 6-year-old. Yeah, trying to explain it to a 6-year-old.
Trying to explain the nuance between different kinds of horror.
He immediately stopped me and he goes, "Oh, I just thought it was scary. I heard that music. It scared me." And I was just like,
the truth from a 5-year-old. It's like, no, I heard the music. Fuck this.
I was like, geez, bud, you're right though.
Yeah, you're right.
I was like, that music definitely scared me.
Go play your Mario.
Yeah, I was like, but that's why we're not. Yeah, you can't do this one. I told him, I said, but I'm pretty sure next week we're doing something fun again.
Yeah, you can probably watch that one
and talk about it. You can. I said, but this is just not the week.
Not till you're at least 16.
Something. Definitely way old. My wife's mom had her watch this because it's her favorite movie. As weird of a thing as that is to
weird.
Say. She told me that, and I was like, "Whoa,
wow, what a one to pick!" I guess.
And she told me that her mom made her watch it as like a teenager. Like they went to the video store to rent it, so that way she could make her watch this movie.
Wow, I got the basement treatment. You go over to a party with your buddies playing D&D, right?
Yeah,
and then somebody pulls it out. They're like, "You guys ever seen this shit?"
For my friends, it was an attic because they were, but same deal,
but
different
up,
different sea level.
You all were having a harder time breathing that high elevation, man.
But I agree with that. Like it was definitely one of those. Like it was at my friend's house. I couldn't tell you who brought it over.
Right.
Someone brought it over, and they were like, "Let's watch this.
It's fucked up." And we're like, "Okay, let's go."
And that's how.
And then we were all just like, one guy left. He got up and was like, "I can't with this," and he got up and went upstairs.
All right, we're getting off topic.
Yeah, but
it's worth
building
saying.
it up.
Yeah. So again, this music was intense for sure.
It was.
This movie, unlike most movies, the 70s is a time when you saw the opening credits, right? Like like lots of them, not just the normal like one or two, but like literally all of the credits that we now put at the end.
They would run at the beginning.
This is one of the first movies.
Oh, where they didn't do that?
Where they did it backwards.
Boom.
And it became one of Kubrick's calling cards. So Kubrick, despite everything we have to say about him, is the reason why we don't have to deal with credits in the beginning of a movie now.
Point Kubrick. All right.
That's the reason why I wanted to finish bringing that up real quick.
I don't hate the guy. I don't think he's as
good.
I
agree. Right. I'm trying to defend our mutual disrespect by bringing up some good points he's done too.
We're not going to completely shit on him.
Yeah, he has done some great things. He's done some questionable things.
There we go. Questionable things.
Throwback to us. Questionable things. As we've already said, this movie does just go straight into it. There's literally, we see a couple color screens, right? It's like orange,
nice and plain.
blue, red. I don't even remember what colors. We get a couple of just solid color screens, then straight into Malcolm McDowell's face.
Right. Big close up. He's got the...
it's the shot. It's the shot you all know.
One where he's got the hat.
He's got the
fake
hat,
eyelashes.
The darkness over the one eye. Right. Just enough shadow where you can't see the color of the eye.
Right.
But you can clearly see the color in the eye that's got the... What I had always... Because it's been forever.
2 different colored eyes.
It's not even that. What I was going to say is that the thing, right? We know it's an eyelash now.
Yeah.
In the movie, he takes it off
and sticks it to his
I'm
mirror.
not going to lie. It's been so long since I've watched it. Like I said, you shouldn't watch this a whole lot of times.
I don't watch this once a week.
I've probably only seen it like 3 times my whole life. I literally had forgotten. I did think it was makeup, and so later in the movie when he peeled it off, I was like, "Oh shit!" But so yes, this thing on his face. In case you haven't watched the movie, but you do know the iconic look. It is not makeup. Go buy yourself some shitty fake eyelashes. Rip out every third eyelash
or something, right? So it's all spaced.
And then wrap it around your eye. That's what he did.
All you need to do.
And then
get a nice bowler hat.
But so back to where we were, zooming out of the face.
Zooming out of the face with the creepy synthesizer music.
As we zoom out of his face, we see he is one of 4. He is a group of his lackeys, as he calls them.
His droogs.
Droogies.
The way they talk in this movie.
Well, so I want to point that out before we go any further. I meant to say it before. for anybody who doesn't know, this is based on a book. I did not know that. Yeah, by Anthony Burgess. He is a British author who wrote a lot of weird dystopian futuristic things.
Shit.
In all of them, he created his own slang,
like Cockney slang that they do.
Nice. And so this is just one of many examples of his weird slang that it's not even supposed to be Cockney. It's literally just supposed to, I didn't take a lot of notes over too many of them, but sometimes I did. I would just put the evolution where you can see what he was trying to say, like how it evolved to that kind of thinking. So as we get to him, if I've got the note, I'll make sure to bring it up since you like the slang. But yeah, it's not necessarily supposed to be Cockney. It's definitely just supposed to be like, he was just trying to say that's the evolution of English as a whole.
As a whole?
Yeah. Like these are just new slang everywhere.
Everybody talks that way.
The only reason...
So it's like a mix of Shakespearean and
the main reason
British Cockney slang.
Well, again, don't focus on he's trying to be a futurist. So he's just trying to... Again, he's not thinking the past. He's just trying to say this is just the way this is the way future would evolve, is what he's going at. He doesn't care about where it came from. That's why I'd have to look at my notes, and I don't want to do that right now. We'll get to them when we get to them. But some of them are literally just, again, they're examples of things that have no connection to like any kind of past anything. It's just him trying to make a wild tangent guess about where the future is going and why that would change into that.
That's cool.
So again, he was a total futurist. Like he wrote that way. Like he wrote in a way where he was trying to put himself in,
trying to just logically, like where
are we going? Be? Not total crazy sci-fi.
Like,
not
what
total,
if this happened and then
what's the evolution we go to? And so again, that's why
That's cool.
That's why that's why we've already mentioned, like, this movie has that. The movie has this. As much as we say it's a horrible, and it is, there is a very heady thought that is going on behind it. The thought of what is, should you be okay with this government who is totally trying to take control of everything?
Yeah, just remove the option of them doing crime.
Not? And so again, like, he was trying to put himself in the role of, this is a thing that could happen.
Yeah.
What should we be okay with it? Should we not be okay with it? I can't think of what it's called, but I swear he has one that is an entire story about like a weird game show set in this kind of weird totalitarian future.
You think that's where they got Running Man from?
I don't think so. Running Man is based on something very specific.
Oh, there's another book? Okay.
I don't think it's one of his, but I could be wrong.
Man, either way, we need to do Running Man one day.
Since you were already bringing up some of the slang, I wanted to make sure we went and
because it starts immediately.
Oh no, he says the most, and the reason why we don't see a lot of other people mention it is because we don't see a lot of other people that are supposed to be their age.
Yeah, they're all older, very much like youth versus.
Well, and again, like, despite what most of this gang look like, they are supposed to be young teenagers.
Yeah, even though they look like they're in their 20s.
Yeah, they're supposed to be in, like, the actors were definitely in their 20s. But again, could you imagine, even in the 70s, trying to get actual 16-year-olds on a set doing the things that they were doing?
Fuck no.
So they had to work.
Makes sense.
They had to work with what they had.
Right.
And what they had was some 20-year-olds. And they were like, these guys are younger than what they
look. You guys are juniors in high school. Mm-hmm. Just go with it.
And again, it makes it hard. There are several gangs. Droog is definitely a slang word for gang/gang member.
Yeah.
Right?
My underlings.
But it's not specifically their gang.
No, because he calls the
other people.
The other gangs.
Well, I only point that out for
him and his droogs.
Anybody who's joining us and hasn't seen it before, I want to make sure they know that. Because if they go to watch it after this, when you watch the first 2 minutes, you might think that Droog is what. Because he goes, my droogs.
My droogs.
You might
what
think,
they call it themselves.
Yeah, so you might think that he was saying, like, that's their gang. It is not.
No.
It is certainly just a generalized word for thug.
Thug, my boys.
Right. Well, no, not even that, because again, the other people are droogs.
His droogs. Minions.
So again, it's lackeys or gang member. Yeah. Well, but he is head droog.
Yeah, head droog.
Right? He says
he does that. He does say I'm
So again,
head
it
droog.
definitely means gang member or thug.
Yeah.
Or, like, it can't mean lackey, because lackey he wouldn't be head lackey. Head lackey would be Georgie boy.
Yeah, there you go.
That's definitely the
hierarchy of the group.
And so there are 4 of them. I can definitely tell you 3 of the. It's Alex, it's Dim, and Georgie boy.
And Pete.
Is it? Okay.
It's Pete, the one that never says anything. His name's
That's why
Pete.
I couldn't think of his name. Right? I was like, do they barely even say anything to him most of the time?
In this first line of dialogue.
Is the only time
they say his
name.
I
believe that. Because again, like later on, I was like, I was like, I don't want to look back. I can't think of what this guy's name is. I kept watching and watching and watching.
The most unimportant person
waiting
of the
for them to say it again. After a certain point, as we said, after about 30 minutes into the movie, once we stop with the craziness, we never see him again. No. We see the other people.
The other guys come back, but not him. Wasn't important.
He left to live a normal life.
Even Kubrick was just like, he only gets named once. He's not important. Fuck him.
But so as we see them
standing back in this weird bar.
Milk bar.
They
tell us.
They has the special milk that'll get you good and ready for bits of ultraviolence.
Because it's all drugs. They tell us it's milk plus. They specifically say
milk plus. So they
and you
named
can get
off
it in
a bunch of
varieties.
Each
one is a different type of drug.
Yeah, they're all fucked up, and the statues and shit in this place.
Well, they're so wicked looking, and we don't find out until the second time we see that the statues serve the purpose to be the dispenser. All like naked.
Almost fell out of my chair laughing. That's a part you can laugh at when he gets the milk out of the statue.
But yeah, so we see that the droogs are there. This group of droogs. Again, I wish they had given them a clear label.
Right? You're gonna do a gang movie, you gotta do it like the Warriors. Every gang has a name.
But we don't. And we just Alex
and his droogs.
He rolls up his group and they leave. They're ready for some ultraviolence.
Oh yeah, because that's what they're all about. I love that
the movie doesn't even refer to it as violence.
It's ultraviolence.
They get drugged up and they're out for some ultraviolence. First person they roll into on their stroll for some ultraviolence, just an old dude,
old drunk man, just singing a fucking old Irish drinking song.
A ditty, yeah.
Right? Just,
he's
got his whiskey next to
him. Trying to make himself feel better about the bad times.
Right.
The horrible fate of the world, which again, from all we can see in the couple of minutes we've been here, is definitely a horrible fate of the world.
Not a good world to be in.
And Alex specifically tells us he hates old people, right?
Yeah.
And he hates them. Bear with us because this scene was full of some gobbledygook slang. And so trying to really like dissect what he was saying was a little difficult in this scene. But he basically says, and that's why I wanted to make sure this is what you took away too. He says he hates old people because old people remind him of the times before the times they are in. Like, he's like, I love living now. I don't like these people because they remember the before and they just want to live in the before times.
Right.
I only bring this up to you so you agree. That's what he said.
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
Right?
Because they're stuck.
And he says that and he beats up the old man. And then in 20 minutes, we find out he loves fucking Beethoven.
Right. So what century are you stuck in, asshole?
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page about this speech because it makes the later scene really fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page here. But yeah, so he beats out the shit.
They beat
out of
the
this
fuck
old
out
man.
of that old guy.
I will make a point now. They never kill any person.
They did not kill the old guy. They just beat the
until the one that actually gets him in prison.
Yeah.
I only make that point because
it's like an escalation.
Again, you would not know that until 40 minutes into the movie if we didn't tell you, because what you see on screen definitely makes you think these people are being beat to death. They are not.
No, they all live.
They're really close.
I did. I thought like, like they killed the old man. They kill the dudes in the next part. Yeah. I thought they was killing everybody.
But they are not.
No.
We find out later he clearly. We'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there. We're getting way too ahead of ourselves. Again, we want to be.
We want to jump past it. That's what it is.
But we won't. That's why we keep darting around. That's why we keep like...
Because it's the next scene.
It gets really bad. Okay, so we got to just do this. Let's rip it off like a Band-Aid.
Band-Aid. Let's go.
After dispatching the old man, we see they're on their way. This moment, though... Well, I don't know. This one's not super bad.
It's not super bad. It's
because this one actually...
The intent... Yeah, she does.
She runs away.
She gets away.
This one's not that bad because there is a good outcome.
They're actually unintentionally heroic. Unintentionally heroic here.
The next one's the one that's bad. Yeah. So we both were thinking a little ahead, just differently. Yeah. So this one's not so bad. Yeah. There is though about to be a forced sexual moment happening on screen by the other gang, the
Billy
other
Boy
gang.
and his
Billy
boys.
Billy Coat, Billy Boy, whatever. There was a line where
Billy Coat, Billy Boy and his lovely droogs.
It was so crazy.
Come down here and have a kick in the yarbles, if any yarbles you have, you eunuch jellies.
Well, so again, yarbles is one of the slang. Yarbles is marbles.
Yeah, your balls.
Is balls. That one is one of the few that is definitely supposed to be like a Cockney rhyming slang.
Yeah.
Which is still messed up because Cockney rhyming slang is usually with real words.
Yeah.
This is like Cockney rhyming slang where they're just like, we're going to make up a new word that sounds like
kind of like it, and that's what it means now.
And that thing was already a thing that was a weird reference, because again, marbles is a weird reference to balls because they're both round. And so then they were like, all right, this is already a slang thing that you might not get. And then we're going to change it into further. A weird word, yarbles.
So you don't know we're saying marbles, right? That way they won't figure it out.
They call out the gang while they're about to...
The girl runs away.
She runs away, thankfully.
Thank God.
But this scene, I would say...
This was awesome.
It's ultra choreographed.
It was really cool,
if you know what dance fighting looks like, you can definitely tell that this is... Now, that being said, though, it is intense, and it definitely gives real credence to the fact that they refer to it as ultraviolence. Because this was ultra... Like, again...
They were going through tables. They're smashing straight pictures,
throwing each other through windows and shit, hitting each other with those steel
pipe things, chain.
It was
he
intense.
Smashed that one guy. One dude went to go dive through the air, and he just gets smashed with the portrait halfway through, and just takes that bump, boom, and they throw a dude off the balcony straight to the table. I did like this fight scene.
Yeah, it was it was
really good.
Intense choreography. I can't even imagine how many times they probably shot some of that.
Right. Oh fuck. Knowing Kubrick hundreds of times.
I will point out though, this is another one of those points where we see a slang word come out, and it's one of those slang things that it's said a lot throughout the movie. And every time I hear it, I'm like, I think this is just to point out how childlike this weird new young generation of kids are.
Yeah.
These gang
members
specifically when they refer to sex. Did you notice
the old in and out? Right. All the shit in this movie, and you can't say sex.
No, again, that's what I was getting at. This is just one of those. This is him trying to evolve the language. This is, I couldn't tell you the mind frame he got to where he thought this is what it would be, and it also separates them from the violent part of what their sex usually is. Mm-hmm. I don't know for sure. This guy wrote this a long time ago, and I can't ask him directly. He's
probably dead.
Oh, he definitely is. I can't ask him directly. So I don't know for sure, but I would assume that that's the kind of thing we're supposed to take from this weird childlike
Sounds good to me, yeah.
From them. Because it is such a heinous act.
Right.
Because he uses it, this first time we see it, it's specifically
he's
to describe
to what the dudes are doing on stage.
Sexual act we're about to see. Later on we hear he uses it to describe every kind of sexual act, even when it's consensual.
Then the cops show up, right? And then what happens? And then they run off, and they're in that really, really tiny car.
Time. That's what my notes say. Because the police, you hear the siren. This is what I can't get over, right? We get lots of weird slang in this movie. Lots of it. There's no weird slang for police officer.
No, it's just
he doesn't even use like current 70s slang for police. Well, no, in
Coppers.
the 70s, you gotta think Britain.
Yeah,
we're still we're in Britain right now, so it'd have been whatever they would have been using. But again, I know there was slang for them, so there's no reason. But they don't. They just say police.
Yeah, the police.
Let's go. I felt that was weird because of all things the gang would have slang for. It would be
the police. That is weird. I didn't pick up on that one either.
Yeah, then they run and they escape. Where did this car come from?
I don't know, but it is
so
tiny and low to the ground.
It's uber sleek. It looks fancy.
The Durango 95.
It looks like a sport. Yeah, that's what he says. It looks like a sports car. Did they steal this?
They had to. But he says they ditched it after.
I know. I don't know.
And I don't know if it's his.
So many questions.
What a fucking car to get, man.
And my main point was just that Alex is a rich kid. They don't let you know right now. You
Spoiled
think
rich kid.
Right now you think that these are all just like homeless little kids,
right?
And this is what they do all the time. We'll see in just a little bit. Alex has a home life.
It's nice.
It's a very normal home life.
Mom and dad they work and shit.
But before we can get to that. While they're in the car, I want to point out, they damn near lost one of them.
Yeah, I know. When he's like hanging out of the fucking back, dude.
Well, his head's like this, and they go under that semi, dude. That semi, I mean...
Missed it by that much.
Right? Like, definitely. They run like 6 cars off the road.
That poor bug, man. It like went up, flipped over and shit.
Rough. As this is going on, again, Dim's being the one. Dim's the one that almost flies out. He then starts just screaming, "You bastards! You horny bastard!" What? Okay. It was so wild. I was like, I don't even understand what's going on right now. I don't either. We hear the inner monologue of Alex tell us one of the things they love to do when they're in this ultra-violence mode is what they call the old surprise visit.
Yep. Good old-fashioned home invasion.
Right? Like, it's just a good old B&E.
Right, just a good old-fashioned B&E, kick the door in, take what you want.
A surprise visit. I love that that's how he
Right, that's his
described it.
word for it.
So this is the scene, though.
This is the one.
This is the one where definitely...
This is a scene where a lot of people tap out and say, fuck this, I'm not watching this anymore.
Rough. It's rough. And so we're not going to get into any kind of graphic detail. We will just say he shows up.
There is a B&E.
He tricks them, though.
Yeah, he does the old, help, there's been an accident. My friend's bleeding to death in the street.
It is the husband's fault.
Yeah, he's the one that said let her in.
The wife has the chain lock still going. She's not... Again, I know we see later that they would have broken had they not been in the door. I understand this was gonna happen, but I'm saying the husband is very complicit in what happened to him and his wife.
Yep.
Because the wife clearly didn't want to let them in.
No,
he pretended like he couldn't hear, but we could tell he could hear every word.
Bit of it, because he's like, well, it sounds like you better let them in. Fucking
Stupid
idiot.
But so then we see them come in. They're wearing these crazy masks. Cyrano de Bergerac, right? Like
right, with the huge nose.
Yeah. But so they're all wearing these weird masks.
Crazy masks.
And they proceed to beat the living fuck out of the guy.
Hold him down.
And again, our choice word here is forced sexual encounter with the woman.
Singing in the rain.
Happily,
cheerfully,
like, not even like demented, even like he literally. If you could not look at what was going on in the screen, you wouldn't think anything demented was happening. Nope, because he sings it so jovially.
Yeah, he's actually not bad either, which just makes it even more fucked up.
It makes it very fucked up. And that's all we're gonna say.
Yeah, that's it.
Just know that when the scene ends, the husband is definitely in bad shape. We don't know anything about the woman because we don't see her after
what happens
after the beginning of said event. We're done.
Yep, we're done. Back to the milk bar.
Back to the milk bar, where again, this is the time where you get to see
where he gets the milk out of the titty.
Fountain. Again, these statues are all over the place. So does that mean each one is a different? Those ones I get. Those ones are tables. Yeah. But I'm saying like the ones that are of the height where this one is to be the fountain. I guess so. There are like 12 of them, right? That are sitting at that same height.
Different potencies of milk in each statue, well, again, I guess.
Every milk, when he gave you the list of drugs, he wasn't saying that Milk Plus has that one. I think he was saying Milk Plus comes in those varieties, right?
Yeah, so each statue could choose have a different one.
Just like you would want to choose, are you on an upper, are you on a downer, you would choose the Milk Plus that has that one you want. They chose the one that night for ultraviolence. I'm going to assume some kind of speed.
Yeah, that sounds right.
For some ultraviolence.
Some
PCP.
PCP, yeah.
I don't know what the 70s equivalent of that would be. But yeah, that's what you'd be choosing, right? Like you're increasing the violent tendencies.
Yeah, that's the one you would want. You wouldn't feel anything that happened to you either.
And also we need to establish before we completely leave that rough scene that the house that they broke into was uber swank.
Yeah, dude.
Like they left dirty cities filth.
Yeah, drove out into the middle of the country to this nice, dope, futuristic house.
Yeah,
I liked her chair that she was sitting in, the capsule chair thing with the lid. I was like, can I get in it and close it and hide from people?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we established how because we don't see a lot of that in this movie. The
only thing is that the sign out front just says home.
Yeah, it's a point in the movie. He makes a point about that. Both when he sees it the first time and later when it comes back to us. He makes a point to be like, I didn't realize the irony of the home.
But yeah, the bars where like the lady starts singing Beethoven, right?
Yeah, and he finally tells us. But we've already seen one reference to it. The doorbell.
Yeah, the doorbell, the ding 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 ding
was Beethoven.
At the house.
Which is funny because again, it was Beethoven and we didn't hear. We should have heard Alex's monologue should have then told us he liked Beethoven. They shouldn't have waited till we hear the woman, this weird woman. They're movie execs?
News people?
Or something some kind of execs or something. And they're singing. They're hanging out at this, what is usually obviously filled with only gangs.
Right.
Milk bar. And they're all executives, and she starts belting out
some Ludwig van.
And he is touched.
Oh, he loves it.
Dim
tells her to basically shut up.
Says it's stupid.
Says it's
stop
stupid.
It.
He hits him real hard.
But rightfully so.
Yeah,
like,
you're being
Alex
a dick.
No. I mean, Dim. Dim is just doing what Alex has already said.
Yeah.
You beat up the old man because he is singing a song that reminds you of a time that doesn't exist. This is an old woman singing a song reminding people of a time that doesn't exist. Fuck Alex.
That's true.
Alex is the one acting out of character.
I was just getting onto Dim for being rude.
Oh, no, I agree he was, and I agree you shouldn't interrupt that. I do enjoy Beethoven. I'm just saying, though, technically...
You're a hypocrite. That's worse.
From the in-universe aspect, Alex is the fucked up one.
He's a fucking hypocrite, man.
Because he's the one picking on Dim for doing exactly what he had set forth as the example of what we do to people.
It's all right. Dim ain't going to have it.
Well, it's not even Dim. Dim just is insulted, and Georgie Boy isn't going to have it for Dim. Right. That's really what we see.
They almost have a fight. Something about chains.
Well, Dim.
Something.
Well, again, this is a scene.
To translate.
Yeah, this is a scene with a lot of weird slang. So basically, what I got here is first we see, like we said, it's Dim insulting and then getting slapped by Alex because he said this stuff. Then Alex insults Dim when he's telling everybody why he did it.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what the insult was supposed to be, but he clearly insulted Dim. Dim was insulted and
like
started to stand up for himself. And said, again, something I couldn't tell you what it was supposed to mean, but he was definitely just standing up for himself.
Something about, like, I'll fight you anytime or something like that. That's what I took from it.
Well, and then Alex immediately was like, oh, yeah?
You really want to do that?
If you want to fucking do that, we can do that. And then he throws out some word that's essentially supposed to mean, I think, let's do this specific type of fight, right? Like a fight for maybe supremacy in the gang.
Pistols,
I don't know.
At 12 yards.
But essentially, that's when he throws this word out, that's the vibe you get from the circle.
It's like, oh.
They're all like, oh, shit. If we're going to
backs down.
Yeah, if we're going to call out that one.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a bit tired.
Dim backs down, and I can definitely, again, I didn't write down the words he used because they were the weird slang, but I can definitely tell you what he meant. This time, he definitely just meant, oh, looks late. Let's go to bed and not talk about this.
Yeah, let's
sleep it off.
This didn't happen, right?
We'll sleep off this.
Let's go.
Pretend like I didn't say it.
Everything's fine. Don't kill me.
Clearly what he was saying, right?
You can immediately
read that on his face. Then we see Home Life.
Home Life. He goes home.
The weirdness of the lobby to this building
They've drawn dicks like all over that thing.
It was Roman to start with.
Yeah.
So I
had like a Roman mural with dudes
and
technically fighting,
technically the dicks that were added by graffiti make it more true, right?
That's
what we found about Rome is that Rome really was
like
that. They
really like to carve dicks into things.
But the funniness here again is, like I said, that I think this is one of those subtle nods, this time from Kubrick, not the author of the book, to be like, this is how childish these gangs are.
Yeah.
Right? They can't help themselves but to go in and just put dicks all over everything.
Yeah, because it's funny, because we're still 12.
Right? Like, not any kind of real threatening damage. They were like, let's put dicks all over it. Right?
See, look, it's
now that being said, again, this is a dystopian future. We don't get to see a lot of that because most of the sets are very closed in, right?
Yeah.
But this lobby clearly has rubble in it.
Yeah, there's like
the background has things knocked over.
The elevator doesn't work. The door's like hanging off.
And it's clearly supposed to be like normal. But this is some of the only. I only point it out because this is some of the only time we see that part of the dystopianness. Yeah. Because once we get to the prison, it's government run, so it looks clean. And
it's all clean and shit.
Most of the places we see the gang go to are richer people's neighborhoods because they're doing their ultraviolence there.
Oh, there's the rundown auditorium where they have the fight.
I know, yeah. That's about it. Because and the milk bar still looks swank.
It's all swank.
Even though we know it is supposed to be.
That weird, crazy art style, Andy Warhol shit.
But yeah, very few places do we actually see, though, that there's any kind of like weird post-apocalyptic dystopian.
Just run down.
Again, we know it is because the fact that these gangs are so prevalent. It means that obviously the government here can't keep up with the
They've got to come up with this whole new way to deal with crime.
It, right? So we know it is that type of future, but this is one of the few times like I feel like the set really gives away that it's supposed to be that kind of future. But then we just see him go upstairs into his room, but it's a very normal house.
Yeah, his mom.
He walks by his mom's in the bathroom.
Right.
Other than the fact that her hair is uber purple. I don't mean, like normally when you say a purple-haired old lady, right? You mean someone, they've got a rinse, right? Like it's like vaguely a touch of purple.
Hint of purple. No, this shit is bright.
This lady, purple. I've dyed my hair purple, and I wish I could have gotten this color purple.
This is synthetic plastic purple.
Well, and again, later we do see her. She definitely has synthetic. Like these are wigs. But right now, there's no way to know that, and so you're just like, damn.
She's wearing like a vinyl dress too.
Getting ready for work. Yeah. We never find out what she does, but this this is a weird outfit for work.
Flight attendant?
I don't know. It does feel like that though.
Right?
I definitely feel that vibe from it.
New weird airport where it's like, no, we're super chill and hip.
Oh, we skipped a little bit ahead, but that's the next morning when we see her. We forgot. So we saw him undress. He threw the
shit he stole from the people.
His booty, if you will. He threw his booty into the drawer. His other drawer, he pulled out his snake. His pet.
His snake Basil.
That he cuddles with to sleep. It's so bizarre, dude.
That's dangerous, man. What is that thing wraps around your head?
Especially after leaving it in a drawer.
Right? The thing's
for
probably
Lord
hungry.
knows how long. But so then he puts the eyelash on the mirror.
Like
he takes off all of his his uniform.
His drooginess.
Yeah. And looks like a normal guy. Goes to bed a normal guy. Wakes up to his mom, like we said in the other room, yelling to him how he's gonna be late for school, and he needs to go today because he's not been all week. Again, hence why we were trying to say these are like teenagers.
Yeah, they're like teenagers.
This is a mom worried about him not being at high school. And for England, I mean, that's super young,
that's
right?
super,
England, that's like 17 because they graduate earlier, 16 even. Like they graduate earlier than we do because the last two are optional if you're going to college.
Yeah, otherwise you can just go to work.
And so, Jesus.
Right?
He's so much younger than maybe we at all thought.
He's only 16. He's running around doing all this bullshit.
Which is crazy. And then we see breakfast with the mom and the dad. And the dad's literally like... When we first see it, before the conversation gets too far, I was even like, do they know?
Right?
Are they just okay with it? But then quickly we hear the dad be like, I don't even know what he does all night. I'd like to know what he
does all night.
Where he goes gallivanting around.
He helps people.
He helps.
Odds and ends and things.
This mom is straight
completely
nuts.
Oblivious.
He helps people, she says. But then they both fuck off to work, I guess. And he's left at home. And this is nuts. I love this. So again, we know he loves Beethoven. He's told us in inner monologue, and we're seeing another moment where he's just showing off how much he loves Beethoven. He's going to get his tape so he can listen to some of it. I love this picture. This was so early of an idea of them trying to like think about what the future could be, right? Like it was before any kind of digital music existed. So when they were thinking like, what would the future be like for music? They were like, everything just gets smaller.
Everything gets smaller.
The cassette tape is
like this big, is teeny tiny.
And so their thought was not that we'd be able to make again, because what was digital to them yet? They
still very much analog.
And so
70s.
like they were just like, the only thing that could be better is if we can find a way to shrink the analog down. It had all of one of Beethoven's symphonies
on it.
All of it. That thing was this big.
I liked his stereo, the little slot where you put the disc in. It lit up with the light and shit. I was like, this is a dope fucking stereo.
And then while he's listening, though, it's the first time we get a glimpse of just how not right in the head Alex is.
Because he gets the flashes.
From this moment on, we'll get random moments where we, as the viewer, get to see
inside his head
what he sees.
Yeah.
This is the first one, and it's some fucked up shit.
Blood drinking vampires.
And he's joyful about it.
Like a little girl getting hanged?
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. From below.
Right?
Like,
you see it's clearly like a little girl.
Again, he's very happy.
Yeah, he's just sitting there like,
he seems at peace. Like, these are the things that make him
happy
while he's listening to some Beethoven.
I think about the destruction of millions.
Very bizarre. Right? But again, just to
put him down in the first
give us
scene.
that insight. It's just to give us that insight into
there's some shit wrong with this boy.
Yeah, the weirdness that is Alex. So yeah, after he listens to his music for a minute, then all of a sudden he walks past.
He's just in that
room in his parent. I don't even know if it's supposed to be his parents' room. Whose room is it? Because
I don't know.
Whose teeth were in the cup? Because we saw his parents leave.
That's true, Grandpa.
So if they had dentures, but we don't see one.
That's true either.
I don't understand what this room is supposed to be at all.
I don't either.
But it is supposed to be in his house. We definitely know that.
He's just going down the hallway to go piss or something.
Because he's still in his underwear.
Yeah, and dude's just sitting in there. It's creepy as fuck.
He's like, I got the keys from your mom.
Okay.
And then we just get weirder and weirder because he's kind of hitting on him. Then he pulls him to sit beside him. Then he pulls him to recline laying on the bed. Then he sack taps him.
Yeah, he's bag tags him.
Like, not sexually.
Just
even though the scene wants you to almost feel like it was sexually, but there was nothing sexual about that. That was painful.
Yeah, he hit him hard, but it was basically just like,
if he wouldn't have thrown his hand,
right?
That like you can clearly see that Alex's hand is underneath of Mr. Deltoid's. But if he had not done that,
he'd have hit him right in the dick.
Because it seemed like it still hurt a lot anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this scene was so random, so weird. And again,
just to tell him that
he is like a parole officer or something of the sort.
Yeah.
But again, he is not apparently like an active parole. Like, right? The insinuation between their conversation is that at one time this guy was the one in charge of keeping him out of trouble. Now he just helps him by trying to keep him out of trouble. So this guy is not even still actively a parole officer or whatever other fucking job it was supposed to be. He just did this for this kid at one time, which makes this whole scene even stranger.
Fucking obsessed
because he has
with him,
no reason to be there. But he does say, "I'm the only one trying to keep you out of trouble." And for what we see, despite the weird sexual nature of it, he is the only one trying to keep this kid out of trouble. He is genuinely trying to say, "I know you guys did some fucked up shit. Don't do that fucked up shit."
Yeah, people talk, asshole.
And I know it was you.
Your name got mentioned.
Billy went to the hospital. Some of them said it was you guys.
Right.
But of course, Alex.
He smooth talks his way out of it.
Well, not only that, but he's just so full of himself that he's like, "I'm not gonna get caught." You know what I mean? He's just like, "I'm gonna lie to you. You don't know no better, and nobody's gonna figure this shit out. I'm good."
Gravy.
Now is when we get the weird. Alex goes to hang out at the music shop,
music store,
bazaar,
record store,
whatever.
I don't know. This is a weird
club.
place.
I don't know what it is. This is like one of the only times we see Alex in his own garb. Like we skipped over this earlier about what their gang's outfit is.
So it's long johns with a cod piece.
It's long johns with what is like 1920s British cup for some kind of sport, right? Soccer or something.
Cricket.
Something, but it's definitely like it's an old school
cup and a hat.
But you're right. It does look like a cod piece, and so it's a very weird outfit. But all four of them wear exactly this.
Yeah, it's what you think.
They all have a different hat.
Movie. You know, one has a top hat.
We all think of the bowler because that's what Alex wears.
Yeah,
but they all wear something different.
Yeah, one has a top hat. I think Dim has just like one of those like newspaper caps. Can't think of the other guy what he has.
I can't.
Fuck him. He doesn't get a hat.
Nobody remembers his name.
No, you don't get a hat, Pete. No hat for you.
We just have to address that before addressing how weird this outfit is. Alex goes out when he's on his own time. This is back to addressing the fact that he comes from a rich household.
Yeah.
Because this outfit is flamboyant. This is a rich, flamboyant kid.
Yeah, it is. He's walking around.
He's wearing this purple petticoat
tunic
thing.
Petticoat thing? I don't know.
It's got tails.
It does. It had tails.
It's such a weird outfit. But yeah, and apparently he's supposed to look slick. It's not even just that when like we look at it and think it looks weird as fuck. The people in universe are looking at it like, oh, that's pretty hit.
That's dope, dude, man. You look badass.
But that's definitely not the vibe I got
look
from
like
it.
Fucking Willy Wonka.
He is able to successfully pick up two chicks.
Oh yeah, at the same time.
Well, and they were friends. He didn't really have to try.
Yeah,
I mean,
but like,
he was like, "Look, I'm taking you home. You're with her. Why don't you just come too?"
Yeah.
But again,
it was that fucking
what's
easy.
funny is we don't get to know what was said. We just know that he was successful. Yeah, because then as soon as we get him home, it's all like 4 times speed.
I love this shit. It's like sped up the overture of William Tell, and they're just rolling all over the place. And one chick gets up, puts her clothes on, and
when he notices that that's what's going on, he stops what he's doing with the one girl, takes her clothes back off. They start rolling around, then the other girl gets fed up, and she starts to put her clothes on. And he gets up and he goes to her and says, "No. We're all staying here.
We're all having a good time.
We have no idea how long
this was all consensual, so we can laugh about it.
Yeah, this one's okay. This one's okay, guys. But yeah, we don't even know how long this went on.
No, it was sped up
because it was sped up to imply it was a long time. But so when it's finally over, he sends them on their way. He gets changed back into his
gang uniform, his droogness,
his King Droog outfit.
Yeah, King
Droog. Head Droog. That's the word. That's how he says it. He puts his outfit on. He starts to head again. He's putting his outfit on. He was on his way to the gang already.
Yeah,
but they're waiting for him in his basement. Oh, not basement, but they're in the lobby. In the lobby with the penis.
With the penis wall.
Yeah. So they're just hanging out there waiting for him. Obviously something's up.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
We get that vibe right away because Dim is there at first.
Dim is way too happy.
Well, he's happy and he's very sarcastic.
Yeah.
About every
little thing.
You can tell he is trying to flaunt something in Alex's face.
Yeah, and he's not stupid.
Well, and what's stupid about the fact that Dim is doing that is it proves why his name is Dim. Because obviously this was supposed to be a setup. Georgie Boy had a very set plan for what was supposed to. Again, I'm jumping the gun a little bit for you guys, but yeah, this whole thing was a setup plan.
There was a coup.
And Dim is half giving it away because right now they should be acting normal.
Yeah.
The point of the plan plan right now is supposed to be we need to get him to go where we want him.
That way we can assert our authority over him.
Dim
take over.
Dim starts to fuck it up already, though.
Because he's already laughing.
And so Alex already is getting violent.
Yeah.
He's like, you still got a problem, buddy? You still want to do this?
Sits on him.
Right? Yeah. He's just immediately, he's like, I don't think this is the road we need to go down. Right? He's like, this is pretty stupid.
You need to explain yourself.
All right. But yeah, so that's right. They're still in the middle of this. While all this is going on with with Dim trying to do whatever it is, Alex
trying to be smug.
I don't know. Alex clearly shows that he is not okay with it.
Nope.
But while that's going on, Georgie boy gets in his face.
He speaks up. He's like, there's going to be a new way.
So that's the moment where we clearly see that this is like a coup.
Yeah.
A mutiny.
A mutiny.
His underlings are not happy with the situation.
It's a revolt.
And so then he throws out, did you hear this? Instead of apologies, he throws out
apple polylogies.
It's appy. It wasn't apple.
Oh.
Appy polylogies.
Appy polylogies.
What the fuck?
Because you can't just say apologies.
Well, again, it's a childlike nature, right?
Really
it's going back to that childlike nature of some of the slang they use. Like, that is a very, 5-year-old thing.
It really is, yeah.
But he just says, all right, well, I'm sorry. Let's do what you guys want.
Yep.
Right?
Let's you have an idea, let's do it.
Let's hear your idea, let's do it. I'm on board.
Right.
I understand I need to change.
I've been a dick, I apologize.
It's a fucking lie.
It is.
We see them marching down the street. Again, we get a clear look of all of them in their uniform.
Right, they're walking.
Including our 1920s style cut.
Yep.
Now, I will point out, the only reason I'm bringing that up again is because this thing did nothing.
Didn't do shit.
Because as we said, it was a lie. Alex is not okay with everybody.
Nope.
And Alex clubs fucking Georgie boy
right
in the dick.
Balls with that fucking shillelagh, just smack.
And now I want to point out, he is mad at Dim, and he does clearly show it because Dim spoke up first. I feel like he is more insulted by the Georgie boy, because I think the implication of the Georgie boy was the second in command.
Yeah, he was his right hand.
Right? And so it's super insulting for him to be turning on him. So yeah, he immediately beats the shit out of Georgie boy. Tosses him into the water.
He just backs out.
Yeah,
he's like, nope, I got nothing.
He beats the fuck out of him, throws him in the water, beats the fuck out of Dim, throws him in the water. Dim starts to come up. He's apologizing, trying to grab his hand, like, pull me out of the water.
Come on, man.
And so then we see behind his back, his cane is actually a dagger, and he slices him across the wrist. Cool. And I want to say, the first moment when he gets cut, because it's not a super deep cut. It's deep enough it bleeds. I'm not down. I wouldn't enjoy it. I'm not downplaying. No. But the reaction we get from Dim is like, was that a poison dagger?
Right.
Did he cut an artery and we didn't know? You know what I mean? Like, he truly overreacts about this.
No.
It was insane. And again, you'd think that'd be it. You think that's the end of the gang? Because like we said, the one guy ran off. He beats the shit out of these two dudes. Nope.
He's just
immediately next scene, we're all at a bar. Not the milk bar.
No, this is an actual bar. They're drinking whiskey or something this time.
But they're at the bar.
Gotta keep
and
he's
just looking at his boys like, we're good?
We're good now?
We good? We all know our place?
All this shit's over.
We know our places again, right?
But being the beneficent leader that he is,
he knows when to show them.
He does know that Georgie does have an idea.
Well, he knows when to show them deference.
Yeah.
Right? That's what he says, or something like that.
So
again, the implication there is that he did just assault them, but he is also the one who paid for the drinks.
Yeah.
Right? Like they are a gang, so Georgie boy and Dim were not wrong in all of this. The whole point, part of it was that they wanted better treatment for poor Dim because he got shit on a lot.
Shit on all the time.
But the other aspect of the mutiny was just, we're a gang and we don't do anything to make money, dude.
Right?
Can we start robbing people?
Go around and beat people up.
Can we do something that makes us some cash? Like, all of us aren't loaded like you, dude.
Right? Like that last house we were in had lots of nice shit in it. And this dude said he would have sold it for us.
And you were just like, violence only. And we're just trying to say, dude, like, sometimes we maybe can get something else out of it.
Coin out of this bitch.
But so then he does still out, you were right, he does still hear out Georgie boy's idea, which was to go to a health spa.
A health spa out in the country where the owner is just
where everybody there's not gonna for the weekend for this weekend
specifically.
We don't know why, but we just know that for some reason she is going to be alone this weekend at her health spa with her cats, not not part of the story, just part of the visual that we as the viewer actually get while they're explaining this to us. They just tell us that she's a crazy lady with cats, but she's a crazy lady with cats that has an obsession with pornographic art.
It's like naked bitches on the wall, the
giant penis,
giant dick rocker
T-Taw statue. And I know you guys think it's weird for us to bring that up, but if you've not watched this, there is a very important scene with it coming up soon. So there is a reason we're mentioning the rocking penis and the pornographic wall art. But she is an eccentric lady for sure. They get there, they break in. Well, they try. They try to do the old trick, accident
which
really worries me because, again, we're in a weird dystopian future where there are lots of these gangs roaming around, right? They're trying this trick again, implying that this trick works.
Yeah, like 2 days after you already did this?
It seems like
it's a bad idea. Change up your tactic.
But so they don't.
No, they do the same thing, and the lady picks up on it. She's like, that sounds like the thing that was in the newspaper this morning.
I'm not going to let you in.
You all can just fuck right on off, and I'm going to go call the cops.
And she does. She goes to call the police. This is the moment it proves that the scene we talked about earlier would have happened either way.
Yeah, would have happened either way.
They would have broke in because they do. They're like,
they go,
fuck this.
They find an open window and climb up in it.
They send Alex in. He's wearing his weird big nose mask. He barges in on the woman while she's on the phone to police. I want to point out, British people being too polite to each other caused way more problems in this moment than it needed to. Because if she would have just got to the goddamn point with the officer, and the officer would have got to the goddamn point with her, and they both weren't so polite to each other, something might have happened.
If she would have just been like, hey, there are weird guys, get over here. And he'd been like, right, we're on our way. But they had this whole polite conversation with, oh, how are you? Yes,
right. And all I thought as an American was, man, this is British politeness, and this is why it is not good.
Yep. Don't be too polite. It can get you killed.
Right? But so she hangs up after he comes in. He comes in, and he's just like, holy shit.
He sees all the porn. Shit. He's like, you naughty bitch. Oh, my God.
And he starts to come after her, and she fights back.
Yeah, she does. She
gets up her hand a couple times.
It was a bust of Ludwig von Beethoven she picks up to go smack this motherfucker with.
She gets the upper hand a couple times.
She does. She hits him. She knocks him on the ground.
But when worse comes to worse, he starts messing with the penis statue. She gets really mad.
Don't touch the penis statue.
She got really mad. And so then finally he just picks it up and bashes her in the fucking face with it.
It hits her right in the fucking, like he just shoves it in her mouth.
Well, but it's bloody. Laugh. It's bloody. He pulls it away.
Yeah.
There's blood.
She was breathing when he left.
But the police show up. Well, they're showing.
Yeah, the sirens are coming, so he's like, shit, I gotta get out of here.
And so he runs to the front door.
His buddies are there waiting for him.
Georgie Boy and Tim still weren't happy with the outcome they had. Mm-hmm. So what happens?
They hit him with a milk bottle.
Tim hits him with a milk bottle, dude.
Like right in the face.
Was the insinuation here a real milk bottle? Was it supposed to be drugs? Because again,
he does yell out, I'm blind.
Was it a downer? Did they drug him?
Well, yeah, maybe.
And that's why they knew he'd be incapacitated till the cops show up? Because that is what happens.
Yep.
He's in the face.
They get away and he takes the heat.
Now's when the movie officially changes. It changes in lots of aspects. In tone, in visual, there's less 70s weird colors, and
it gets more,
it's very monotone,
clinical.
Because we're in fascist territory now, right? These are totally totalitarian
cold
leaders.
Stone gray color.
Yeah, so the police get a hold of him. First we just see interrogation time, right? And he is defiant and rebel as ever at first.
I know the law. I'm not talking blah
at first.
Shit. At first.
Then they beat the shit out of him.
Beat the fuck.
At first it starts
where he's got the thing on his nose, they just push on it.
But then he
grabbed that dude by the balls, and then nope, game on, buddy. They just start beating the fuck out of him.
And Mr. Deltoid shows up again, telling him,
no pity.
He said, "Dude, I gave you warning.
I told you,
it's over. It's done." And now we see when Mr. Deltoid's in the room, tough boy Alex is gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Now, 5 minutes before, he was all, I'm not telling you guys shit. Fuck you. You ain't going to get nothing out of me. Now he's like, it was everybody else's society did this to me. Don't you want the rest of my gang? I can tell you where they're hiding.
That one cop's just like, he sings real good when you're here, doesn't he?
Things changed
so quick. The second he walked in, but nope, can't help you, kid.
Yep.
You're going away because you're a murderer now.
And Alex is in denial at first.
No. She was breathing when I
killed nobody. And he says, buddy, I left the hospital.
She's dead.
She died.
And you're going away.
But that's the part I was telling you guys earlier. Like I said, we see a lot of violence. This is the line that lets us know. He had, not only from Mr. Deltoid, but Alex himself, he was convinced he hadn't because they were violent.
Yeah.
They weren't killers.
Yeah.
He was not killing people.
Which I did not pick up on until he was shocked about the lady being killed. I was like, Why does that one shock you? They're not dead. Okay. Because they show up later.
Yeah, the hobo guy later. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Again, if that line wasn't enough convincing for you that he doesn't kill people, when the hobo shows up later, let you know they didn't kill the hobo.
He didn't kill the hobo either.
Maybe he should have.
He maybe should have killed a lot of people, apparently.
The scene ends with, just Mr. Deltoid had completely gave up.
He spit on him.
He spit on him. He's given up. Alex is on his own, no longer anything. Then we see him being admitted to prison, right?
Yep. Gets 14 years.
He gives up his personal possessions, which at this point is not much because it's literally just what was in his pockets.
Cigarettes, some candy, a
coin. One coin. It was a bus token even. It wasn't even like a coin, I think.
And it was like stuck in his pocket. Yeah. He would like turn his pocket inside out.
Fake leather or something, right? I hear him. He goes, it's a faux red leather.
Fake red leather, calendar or whatever the fuck. I love that guard, though. He was my favorite character, the captain of the guards at the prison. He really was way too into his fucking job.
Yeah, and again, this scene really, much like the prison, the scene in the interrogation room, shows us how quickly Alex will fucking change, right?
Yep. He immediately just...
He isn't... Well, again, they're barking orders at him. Yep. He's not...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's not... They're asking him questions. He's on the spot. He doesn't fight
very
it at all.
Soldierly.
All the way down to strip in front of me.
And spread them cheeks. Let me see what you hiding.
This was awkward. Man put the flashlight in his mouth and was up in this dude's butt. Again, like we said, guys, this is a very serious movie. This scene, I didn't understand. I was like, we could have done without it.
Right.
Because there was even a long look after, right? Like it was done. He had walked away. Go take a bath. And the dude is still just on the ground, just staring looking where the butt had been. It was awkward.
Also has a weird look on his face when the two dudes are like winking at him.
No, this guard never doesn't have weird facial expressions. I put it in my notes. I was like, I don't even know if these are
so suppressed.
Well, I don't know if they're intentional. Like my notes are like, I don't know if this is intentional. Did they just find an actor who had face tics and this is it's just amazing coincidence on timing? They just
happened to do this.
I really can't tell at a certain point because it happens. There's never a scene
every time
there's never a scene he doesn't have some kind of weird facial expression. There's never a scene. It's something.
I love him. He's my favorite.
He's good. I mean, I'm not downplaying. This guy does a lot of non-vocal acting.
Because he's supposed to say something. He clearly yelled something. What he yelled at us, couldn't tell you. He somehow manages to turn British things into sounding German, which was...
Every prison guard does. They all, again, they look very fascist. They're all, both guards
they're guards
like almost
and
Nazi
prisoners.
Uniforms. Guards and prisoners.
Yeah, right?
They make the prisoners wear these things.
Right, there's like even like the red armband and
but
shit.
They look at, and then all of the guards, any guard, whenever you see them, if they're yelling commands, it's in British English, but it sounds like they
German somehow.
They hit accents at the same like parts of a phrase.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that way it's hitting like the ups and downs that you would hear in German.
If you were like way off at a distance, you would just be like,
well, if you're not paying attention, if you weren't looking directly at the screen, there were several times where I just literally had to be like, did they just switch into German?
Right. What the fuck?
Really but no, it's definitely not.
Fascism bullshit.
Yeah, they definitely want you to get this aspect of it. During this moment, we see it transition. Like we see there's a little bit of like the Alex is getting put into prison, but then we get the inner monologue and we get the moment where he's sitting beside the clergyman, right?
The preacher,
and then the dude is making eyes at him.
There's this big potato face dude just winking at him like, hey, pretty boy.
But it's after we already found out that the head guard does not want any homosexualness in this prison because he specifically asked Alex about it.
When he asked him that, he looked at his dick.
I know.
It was really weird.
It was the whole thing is weird with that guard. That's neither here nor there. But during this conversation, this inner monologue that Alex has with us, as we find out maybe right about here in the movie, because we'd always heard the inner monologue, but right now is when we find out that he is directly addressing us.
Yeah, he
is in this
narrating
to us. It is not just like
because he calls himself your friend and gentle narrator.
It's not like omnipotent narration where it's just like vaguely this guy, but we don't know when. It is directly that he is somehow talking to us as the viewer, that these things are happening. During his inner monologue, we learn that this is now 2 years.
Yeah, he's been in here
for 2 years, and essentially what he's found is the way to fake his way through the system.
Yep.
He is not actually reformed.
No.
But he knows how to make the people around him think he's reformed. He knows how to convincingly trick
society into thinking he's better. But it's not convincing everybody. It has convinced the clergyman.
Yeah, he's sitting there, he's reading the Bible.
With the horrible teeth.
And really bad teeth. Nice guy, though.
Yeah, but the head guard's not fooled.
No, the head guard never buys it for a fucking second.
But he's convinced the clergyman because now we see that he goes to study the Bible.
Yeah.
He refers to this, I got this here. In the future, they decided that it's the big book. Did you notice that?
Yeah,
he doesn't call it the old book, which is what we would call the Bible. Like today, that's a phrase we would say. It's the old book.
It's the old book. Now it's the big book.
The big book. Or the good book. Those
are
the old book.
Yeah, the old book and the good book, yeah.
But big book is definitely not one of them. So obviously, it's another one of those weird slight evolution things, right? Yeah, he says that he loves the big book. But again, to the clergyman, he makes it look like he loves religion.
Yeah.
To us, he lets us know
he likes the Romans.
He likes the battling. He likes the killing, violence. He likes the laying with two women.
Right.
He likes the talk of the things that
we'll
God wanted.
We'll fight. We'll drink wine, and then we'll go home to some other dude's wife.
Well, there's specifically the parts of the Bible that are dealing with the things God did away with, right? Like that's what we're supposed to find out.
The first part of the Bible is more fun than the second part.
He's obsessed with the things before God said those should not be
you shouldn't
done.
Be doing this shit.
He's stuck in the allegories where they tell us what we shouldn't do.
I wrote down, I was like, I think he took the wrong message from the Bible.
Well, that's what we're supposed to see. That's he is definitely he doesn't enjoy the Bible. He enjoys these stories.
It is a very violent book if you read it. That's how he sustained himself.
Fantasies he's had while reading these stories. But then we find out he's heard about a crazy treatment.
That'll get you out of jail.
An experimental treatment.
It'll get you out of jail in a fortnight, they say.
And so he's bringing it up to the clergyman like, hey, you know me.
You know,
bro.
I'm trying, dude. You know.
How good have I been?
How good have I been?
Have I gotten in any trouble?
No.
While I've been here. He even says it like that. He's like,
while I've been here.
Since here.
Right. Be clarified.
Right? Like, you know. I mean, I've been good.
I've been a good boy. Put in a good word for me.
The guy's trying to talk him out of it. He's like, look,
he
man.
He doesn't like it. He's like, no.
Nobody in this prison like it.
Yeah, even the wardens.
None of them. There's not a single person in this prison that like it. Meaning that we can assume this prison is affiliated with the other government, right? Again, so at this point, the movie also starts to bring in this plot of two governments.
Yep.
That are fighting for control. One is very totalitarian, and one is definitely still about the people and free thought and free thinking.
There's a lot of layers to this fucking movie.
Yeah, there are. And so we can assume then that this prison, despite being a prison, is aligned with the free thinking, free thought kind of government, right? Is not part of the totalitarian.
Yeah, we don't want to mind wipe them and turn them into drones. We just want them to not hurt people.
Yeah, if locking them away is how we have to do that, then that's how we have to do that. But again, we're not going to try and tell them they can't be the people that they are. They just have to be the people that they are in that cell.
Yep.
And so we get this, and we can, like you said, we clearly see every single person in the prison is against it. But he is very adamant that he wants to try it, and just by chance, the minister of, I didn't even write it down.
Minister of the Interior,
which is a weird one to be associated with these prison trials, but whatever. The minister of the Interior just happens to show up
like that day. Even too.
I think it was just one of those we don't know.
We don't get the time yet, but it really seems like it was like later that day.
And was just looking for the next best candidate, right? Yep. And you can't get, I'm sorry, if you're trying to prove something, you don't get a better candidate than this guy.
No, you really don't.
He was a horrible gang member. We assume at this point that they must have linked him to both crimes. So that's going to be the killing we know he did with the penis.
Yeah. The penis killing.
And then the brutal beating of the guy and the forced sexual encounter with his wife, because as the woman who he smashed with the penis already had told the police on the phone.
Sounds like that thing that happened.
It sounds like the same thing that happened to those people. Like they were trying the same ploy.
Right? It would connect him.
So we can assume that at this point, the prison complex knows the full thing.
Yeah, they know how fucked up you are.
So, and again,
perfect.
We know, well, and we know when he was being arrested, he already spilled his beans about a whole gang and how he could show them his whole gang. So again, they know he's the leader of a gang.
Yeah.
There's just reasons why he's a perfect candidate for this. We don't know if the minister knew that when he came in. He just happened to show up, and then of course, since he wanted this already, he spoke up.
He's like, man, you're right.
And the minister was like, what's this about you? And so he quickly kind of runs down through some stuff. He's like, oh,
this guy's perfect. He's violent. He's bold. He's young.
Want him. And at that point, even the head guard who doesn't like him,
right,
but definitely believes in this kind of this reform, right? Like prison reform. He thinks that will lead to reform.
Yeah.
He is trying to be like, I don't agree, sir.
No,
you shouldn't take this guy.
Don't take that guy. Fuck that guy.
Doesn't matter. Then we see he goes to the warden. The warden's like, look, I don't have a say in it. You get to go. Orders are orders, but I want you to know.
I don't fucking like this.
I don't think you should get this right.
Nope.
Eye for an eye.
Right? You hit us, we hit you back.
You hit one of ours, we're going to hit you here.
They send one of yours to the hospital, you send one of theirs to the morgue.
Yeah, but then we see the head guard. He's kind of throwing out the last little bits of like authority he gets to, and he knows it, right? Yeah. So he's being extra fucking dickheaded to him. He's yelling at him every second. He's like, "Don't talk
unless you're supposed to." And then he asks him a question. You answer him right now.
Yeah, just total dickheaded for no reason. We see he's got to take him to this facility. This give me a second. I've got the name. Right?
Ludovico.
That's but run by the doc. I was trying to look up the doctor's name.
Oh shit.
Brodsky, something like that, right?
Yeah, it's Brodsky or something like that.
So yeah, he gets taken to this Ludovico technique, this Ludovico Institute, where they employ the Ludovico technique.
Yeah,
and it's run by Dr. Brodsky. He is going to employ this new treatment. Again, right now we still have no idea what this treatment is. Nope. The guard drops him off at the facility. It's supposed to just
make bad boys good. That's what it
within
does.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
or slightly over. They said
a fortnight.
Just barely more than a fortnight. That's what they keep telling us. But so the prison guards come to drop him off, and when they drop him off, again, this head guard is definitely still very adamant that they should be treating this man like a prisoner. Yeah. And you can tell he is insulted by again, this is the moment where
he even has to ask where the guard is that's going to take him. He's like, is that the guy? Can he come over here and hold him before I handcuff this fucking monster?
This is the moment where I began to be like, are these facial expressions tics? Because at this scene, he makes so many weird expressions, and none of them fit the vibe of what is fucking happening.
His nose itched so bad.
I don't know.
And Kubrick would not let him scratch it.
But this is exactly the part where I was like, maybe this actor just has tics, and I misread everything. But again, this is not the last time we'll see him, but the last time of importance that we see this guard. He drops him off. He is now officially part of this program. We see immediately they start pumping him full of drugs.
Yeah, this is the first thing. Like, he's like, here's some drugs.
And he's like, oh,
experimental. Hang on, I wrote down. Experimental serum 114.
And he's like, oh, is this something that you're giving me? Is this going to help with everything? And she just lies to him.
It's vitamins.
It's vitamins. You're going to start taking these with all of your food.
You're underweight,
right? Every time we feed you a meal, you'll get a shot.
You'll get one of these, some vitamins with your nice hearty food.
And he's just like,
sweet.
Okay,
fuck yeah,
all right, sounds
Bends
good.
Right over. Go ahead.
He's like, so what are we going to be doing? And she's like, oh, you're just going to be watching some movies. Then we get him in the movie room, and we find out that they're not only making him watch movies, they are forcing his eyes open.
They have clamped these things open, and did they really do that to him?
It's a reverse clamp. Yes, I was just about to tell you. Do you want to hear this? This is true. They they anesthetized him, so he was, he had anesthesia, so that way they could do that. Oh, no. Scratched his corneas.
Oh, jeez.
While doing the filming for these scenes.
I believe it. Fuck. I couldn't watch them putting those things in his eyes, dude. That was painful looking.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like straight jacket to the chair. He's not going anywhere. You're going to watch this shit. And they're even going to eye drop his eyes for him.
This is when we find out that this is essentially some kind of really fucked up aversion therapy.
Yeah,
right?
We're gonna show you fucked up shit.
Well, but did you notice that it's not even just fucked up shit? It's fucked up shit that's meant to mimic
what he has done.
Yeah. Because it was
they were even dressed like
it was 4 guys in white suits, just like theirs, including the
weird codpiece thing.
The only thing that was different with the guys on screen, different hats.
They had like French army hats from Napoleon.
Yeah, different hats.
It was really weird.
That was one of them was a straight up pilgrim hat. But yeah, different hats. One of them, or I guess for Britain it would be Guy Fawkes hat.
There you go.
You tell us it's the same. It's a Puritan hat.
It's the same
Puritan hat. So literally he's just watching these crazy, horrific scenes while under the influence of whatever this drug is. So again, this in my notes I wrote, it is either some kind of experimental antipsychotic.
Could be, yeah.
Or hallucinogens. Because that was the thing in the 70s.
Yeah,
like,
just give
it's coming right after.
Just give you some acid.
Well, in the 70s, it's literally like right after people, right after they found out that was real, though. Like, again, you cut me off. Before that, they didn't know it was real. In the 70s is when they found out that they did actually do that. And so this is right after people found out that governments were really doing that. So that's why they put it into movies like this. So so that's totally, I feel like it's one of the two, though. It could still be experimental antipsychotics where they're like, well, we're going to force you these things that should make you think normal and then show you the things that make you think not normal until you know. But either way, they definitely just pump him full of shit.
So when he sees all this fucked up stuff, instead of being happy about it, it makes him sick.
Well, it literally has a physical effect.
He's gonna throw up.
It's not that they're trying.
It hurts.
So again, that's the aversion therapy here. Is that it's not even that they're trying to, because they want you to think it's like chemical therapy.
Yeah.
Which this does have the weird side effect of chemically castrating them, as we'll find out soon. But beyond that, this is actually like still solid aversion, because whatever they're doing is literally just that it causes physical pain when he has those urges. So it's just like a lifelong aversion therapy.
Right. Anytime if you want to feel better, you gotta not think about that
stuff.
So
it's not that they've made him, and again, the clergyman brings this up later. It is not that they have in any way made him better because he doesn't not think these things. He still has those thoughts. They've just taken away his ability to be a human, because the only way he cannot experience this
choice.
Choice. There is no choice. Which is a weird one for the preacher to be screaming about. I kind of loved the throwing it on its face of what we normally think of, because normally you would think that conversation would have been the other way around. We're way too ahead of ourselves. But so this is essentially though just lifelong aversion therapy is what they have made. They've made a way to chemically lifelong have you deal with some kind of pain when doing things they don't like.
There's a slight problem though. It's the
music.
The little unfair.
It's music.
The music they chose for these videos.
Well, not even all of them. Just specifically the one when the drug was finally working.
Yeah.
Right? Because the first couple of times it still hadn't... he even talks about how he kind of enjoyed the movies.
Yeah, he's like...
He said the first one was like an actual cinematic experience.
Right, it was very good, like they did it in Hollywood.
And again, we as the viewer see that all of them are the same. Yeah. It's literally just that he himself is starting to feel the difference between when he saw the first one and saw the next one, is why he doesn't describe it the same way. When he finally gets to that last one, the drugs are finally just in full effect.
Yeah.
And it happens to have Beethoven. And he tells them, this isn't fair.
Because now Beethoven never hurt anybody. And anytime I hear this, I'm going to get sick.
Well, and he doesn't even realize that yet. He just kind of says, like, he is just stuck on that it's not fair to Beethoven. He's not even saying to him during this moment, he's not making the connection that his body
to put Beethoven to this.
For him right now, it is just the fact that that's so insulting to Beethoven to use his music. It's not until later he realizes the negative impact it has on his association. Right now, he's just upset that they would do that in the first place.
How dare you do that to Beethoven?
They would sully his name by associating his music with something like this.
Right.
Farce of an experiment.
Monsters. You call me a barbarian.
But so that's really what that was all about. But it does have the unforeseen side effect of now he can't enjoy that music.
Yeah, anytime he hears Beethoven, he just
like everything else
wants to die.
He is now just as violently sick to his stomach, and he wants things to end.
Yep, can't handle it at all.
But after we finally end these barrage of treatments, he does indeed. They live up to it. They're going to release him. Before they release him, they have a
weird presentation
where they just parade him in front of everybody
and fucking humiliate him. This one guy comes out and beats the shit out of him, makes him lick his shoe and shit.
Lick my shoe.
He does it,
and he's like narrating,
gagging. Well,
he's narrating to us, telling us like, guys,
I did it.
I didn't want to,
but it was better than that sick feeling.
So I did it.
So I licked the shoe.
They show us that now is when we learn that they, on top of taking away his violent urges, just to be on the safe side, took away sexual urges.
Yep.
This is where it gets really, you start to think about the implication on free will, right? Because yes, we know that he had forceful sexual encounters with women, and we know that that's bad.
Yes.
But they are taking away his ability to have any sexual experience.
Yeah,
because now he has a...
He did have a consensual one in the film.
Well, and again, what's happening in front... The first example is violence, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's
that proves
fine.
their point.
Proves it.
The second one, though, was literally a woman walking up to him with a look that she was okay with it, enticing him.
And naked.
It was not showing us that he was not going to be bad. It was showing us that he cannot have these sensations at all. And so that's a little messed up.
It is.
Forced chemical castration is maybe too far for the government.
A little bit.
I mean, all of this is, but I mean, like, if there should have been a point where everyone in the room saw that,
was like,
well,
hey,
the first part, the guard got off.
when the girl walks out,
well, not even that, he got off watching.
He loved watching him lick that boot.
That was another scene where people should have felt their own humanity and been like,
not
maybe this isn't
in this
right.
room right now.
But you're right. When the woman came out, this guard definitely had a moment.
That face, man. He's just like, oh, like he's never seen a titty before.
But so they show off that he is definitely now different.
He even asks, he's like, did I do okay? Was that what you guys wanted from me? Can I fucking go now?
And so they do. They release him.
Yep, off back into the world, man.
The movie's gonna go really quick now, guys. Because the next like I mean, it's probably like 35, 40 minutes of the movie. But really, it only takes place in like 2 days, 3 days, if that.
He leaves prison. He goes home.
He goes home. When he gets home, he immediately notices someone's been sleeping in his room.
Yep.
He goes into the living room.
They have a border or whatever.
Well, they go. Let's let them hear it the way it actually happens, right? So he goes home. He doesn't see them. They don't see him. He sees his room first.
Yep.
Someone's sleeping in it.
That's not my stuff.
That's not his. And then he walks into the living room, and his parents are literally reading because that's how quickly this happened.
Chilling.
They're reading the paper that says he got released.
Right.
It happened that day. And so they didn't find out any sooner. So they're reading it, and they're like, oh shit. Then he walks into the living room, and he's just like, hey guys,
I'm home.
I'm here. And they're like, that's quick. Dad's literally showing
He's like, it's on the front page.
This is today's.
We weren't expecting you at all.
And then he leans into his dad and he just goes, Dad, I don't know if you noticed, there's a weird guy sitting on the couch. He's eating our toast. And
Should his dad be concerned?
His dad's just like, oh yeah, that's Joe. He lives here now. The way in which the dad said this
scared.
It was so comical because it was scared, but it was also just kind of because the dad, he's only in 2 very short scenes of the movie, but he seems so dim-witted every time he speaks. And so like it was like dim-witted on top of scared, and so it just sounded so extra like weird coming from him.
He lives
here.
Like,
he's a lodger. He lodges in your room.
We had like an agreement,
right?
Didn't we, Joe?
Joe's doing work for us. It's going to take 2 years. 2 years from when?
I don't.
He's been in prison for 2. Was it 2? Did they do this immediately? And his 2 years are up.
Joe's only been here for a month. Like how long has this been going on?
What does he mean? Again, that was just showing you the desperation from the dad. Like he was just trying to find the words
for anything
that would maybe make his son not be upset about the moment. But then Joe, who knows dick all about nobody other than what he thinks he knows.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I really didn't like Joe. He flew all over me. Alex is a horrible human being.
Right.
But technically speaking, if we are going to treat prison the way prison is supposed to, then when someone does their time and they get out, even if it's as fucked up in what they did to this man, the idea was supposed to be this chemical process works, and now that he's out, we treat him like
he gets his second chance. That's what this whole thing was about.
Fuck
Joe. These are his parents, dickhead.
And Joe
not
kept saying that. Joe kept saying like,
they're mine.
They're
mine now.
They're more like my parents than yours.
You were terrible to them. I'm nice. These are my parents now. They go fuck yourself, Joe.
I hated Joe. and Joe, directly the things Joe said are what started upsetting the mom. And then when she gets upset, he looks at Alex and he goes, "Look what you done to your mom.
Look what you did to your mom."
I was like,
"Look, it was your fault, asshole. You're the one that was. She was looking at you like stop.
Go to hell, Joe."
Fucking Alex Alex goes to punch him. He can't do it.
But the sickness comes over. And then Joe still being a rude fuck immediately was like, dude, you're making me sick. Cover your mouth
or something. That's gross.
I think I'm going to get sick. Can you take that somewhere else?
You fucking asshole.
And so finally Alex was just like, fine, I see. I understand. I did what I was supposed to do to get released, but nobody fucking cares.
I'm still going to have to suffer.
I'm going to see my way out. And then so he's just walking.
Yep.
Got nowhere to go. Nothing specific.
Goes and looks at a bridge.
Staring at the, well, it's again, this, I found a good way to say the first one. I don't know, unaliving, right? That's what the kids say. Yeah,
that's what the kids say.
So he is definitely supposed to be having thoughts of unaliving himself.
That bridge is not tall enough to do that.
Well, neither is the thing that he later tries to unalive himself from.
Also true.
So let's not get there. The bridge at least had water underneath of it that he could have drowned in.
Yeah, that's true.
So the bridge was a better option than what we actually see later. That was the implication of this scene, was that,
having dark thoughts.
Well, and he can't do anything with the natural thoughts. Like that's what we're supposed to be feeling here. He can't feel anything that he normally would feel.
Want to.
And so it makes him not want to feel anything. Again, I'm not trying to say that he lived a good life, but Joe definitely...
hard to feel bad for him, yeah.
Joe definitely deserved to be hit.
Yeah,
like we're saying here, Joe
know,
crossed the line.
Anybody
and he now
would have punched Joe.
He now can't do that for himself.
Can't even do that. Can't even stick up for yourself.
So it proves that this process goes too far.
Yeah, it goes way too far.
Which is the whole point.
Yeah.
You can't control how someone thinks in any way without it being too much. Mm-hmm. It's a slippery slope.
It really is.
It's all too much.
You gotta let people be people and then just deal with the consequences of it. You can't control them completely.
Oh, we almost forgot to mention they killed his snake.
Oh yeah, they killed his snake.
They don't say it,
but they killed his snake. He asked
where his snake is.
Where's my
look on his dad's face instantly lets you know they killed his snake.
They forgot about it. It did not feed it.
Something.
It died.
But it was their fault. It's dead. And then he immediately lies and was like, it had a great accident after you left.
It passed away.
Sorry. That's not important at all. I just wanted to make sure we talked about it because it was fucked up.
Fucking snake.
Again, he's a horrible human being. Exactly. The snake
didn't do nothing.
is a creature that had nothing to do with that man's horrible fucking life.
Right. The snake didn't deserve that. Poor Basil.
Sorry, I just had to point that out. This is the moment, right? So he's walking, he's staring off in the water,
and the homeless guy
himself,
shows
and
up.
the homeless guy shows up. Well, right now we don't know immediately because you kind of the angle is a little off, and you just hear him talking. But even when you hear him talking, because he says the exact same phrase about however he worded asking for money.
You got some for me, brother.
It's exactly how he asked for it the first time, and so. Dude's not. He's so zoned out.
He gives him change.
Well, it takes him forever. At first, he just hears the guy asking like 6 times, and then finally he's like, "Oh." Reaches in, hands it to him. As he hands it to him, the man finally makes the connection.
He recognizes him.
He's like, "Oh fuck,
you're
this
that
guy?
fucking asshole who beat the shit out of me."
Doesn't care that he just gave him money.
No.
Doesn't care that he's not being hateful or rude. Again, the whole point here. Like at what point? How do you atone for your past sins if people will never let you be past your past sins?
Yeah.
Right? And so that's exactly the problem world that Alex is stuck in now. Like, how is he supposed to be past it if no one will let him be past it?
You can't.
You can't. That's exactly what we see here.
That's exactly what happens.
The old man starts yelling at him, chases
his other homeless buddies,
and they all
beat the shit out of him. They take his bag.
This is why you got to be careful of old people in large groups.
Yeah, old people in large groups are very dangerous.
They can gang up on you.
Yeah, you will.
You can lose control of the situation.
They can take those fake teeth out and just go for the eyes with you.
But then we see the police show up.
Oh, good.
Save the day. First time in Alex's life
he's happy to see the fucking cops.
Until
he recognizes who the fuck they are.
It's Dim and Georgie Boy.
Guess what? We grew up and got jobs.
Well, no, and what's fucked up is like they recognize that it's Alex, but then Alex even starts to say stuff about like back in the day. Yeah. And Dim literally says,
I don't remember.
Again, I point this out because in case you forgot, they were supposed to be the kind of young where maybe they don't, like they were just being young dumb.
Yeah, and on a lot of drugs.
So maybe they genuinely don't remember a lot of it.
Yeah.
Again, when you look at the actors, it's easy to forget that they were supposed to be playing because Dim was supposed to obviously be the youngest of the group. That's part of why he's Dim, right? So if we thought Alex was 16, then Dim is like 15?
Yeah, 15.
He literally says we got to be of age to have jobs.
Yeah.
This is the job we got.
We're cops now. Isn't that great?
And now we're going to take care of you.
Oh, we're going to drag you off in the woods and we're going to...
Yeah, right? Like, what was this?
Drown you in this very conveniently placed tub.
What was the point of it? Was it just to
fuck
because
with
they
him?
want to punish him more,
To show that they have power over him, I guess.
Have they not gotten enough of that? Everything that's happened to, again, I'm not saying Alex doesn't deserve it.
I mean, he even says when they're dragging him off, like, guys, I got punished and you guys got away.
Well,
like,
and
what
again,
do you want here?
And at their hands. Like, that's my point.
Why are you fucking with me? You got away.
Yeah, I'm not pretending like Alex didn't deserve it, but technically everything that happened to him is their fault.
Yeah.
He got arrested because what they did to him.
I say they have their revenge, right?
Right? They need to let it be.
Let it go, guys. You got him. But
You
no,
know-
we're going to try and drown him in a tub in the middle of the woods.
beat the shit out of him in the water.
While they're drowning him, right?
Holy
Jesus
fuck,
Christ,
man.
dude.
He got water in the lungs. That was the point, right? Like, you hit him when they're underwater
Yeah,
because
so
he's going to...
Fuck, dude. It's a wonder he didn't die. I thought this was it. Like, at the end, I was like, this is it. This is how the movie ends. He's going to die.
But it's not.
It's not.
He limps away. And where does he find?
He goes home.
He sees the sign.
The sign
He's limping
says
away.
home.
And at first, he didn't exactly recognize where he was, right? Like, he saw this. He went to the front
he's
door.
real fucked up.
But he's at the front door and he rings the doorbell. And what's the doorbell? It's Beethoven. So he starts to be like, wait, I think I remember this.
Minute.
But we see as the viewers that it's a little bit different in the house this time. We still see the old man.
Yeah,
he's typing away in his room.
It's almost the exact
He's in a
same
wheelchair
shot.
now.
He's in a wheelchair now.
You can see the slight handle behind him, so you can tell right there.
The breathing in the background. Did you think it was going to pan over and she was going to be like in an iron
It
lung
was really
or something?
weird. It was strange. There was definitely like a, but that was supposed to be So we see that there's no longer a wife in the room she used to be.
There's a super buff nurse guy with Speedos on doing workout, very fit.
And so the doorbell's ringing. It's exactly like the last time.
Yeah, exactly like last time.
Plays out almost the same way, except for this time the dude was like,
actually hurt.
Well, and the guy at the assistant guy is the one that was like, I'm gonna open the door. He didn't. It wasn't the writer dude.
And
he was
gigantic.
like, he was like, I think this guy's actually in trouble and we need to help. But so they do. They let him in. They start, and that is the moment. Alex is like, oh fuck,
it's that guy.
But he doesn't recognize me.
I had a mask on. It's fine. It's okay.
He definitely doesn't.
He recognizes him from the newspaper, because he's like, oh, you're the guy who had that treatment thing.
But I find this to be fucked up, right? Because have we not already established that the police know that he was the one who did both crimes?
Yeah.
So the police never told this
that guy?
We have the person who,
I guess not,
brutally beat
or
you
didn't
and raped
show
your
him
wife.
any pictures, I guess.
Right, because so the moment when he has the shocking revelation that's the guy from the newspaper, I was like, oh, this is it. It's done.
It's on. He's gonna kill this dude.
He remembers him, but he didn't. He literally only remembered him in the paper. But then we see
he can use him.
Yeah, and then exactly, he calls up his buddies. He's like, look, this guy, we can use him to overthrow this government. This proves that they're making steps too far. They're trying to control our lives in a way that they shouldn't.
They're being dictators.
So again, this guy's the good guy.
Yeah, kind of.
Who flips real quick
right
now.
You think he's a good guy.
He's on the phone
because he's going on about liberty and freedom and justice, all those good things.
He hangs up the phone, and when he hangs up the phone, he hears Alex's. And I gotta say, this is fucked up because Alex does remember.
He does remember. So
the
why
fact that he
would
starts
you do
singing this? So Alex is taking a bath and hanging out in the room, and he just starts belting out,
singing in the rain.
With not a hint of irony.
Just belting it, dude. And it throws that dude into some serious PTSD.
This is the moment where I say, like, the whole point of this whole thing is, right, there's this constant, like, programming and deprogramming of people, right? Sometimes intentional, sometimes on purpose. Unintentional. This guy was unintentionally programmed to be triggered by that song because of what happened, right? So it's a weird, like, reflection of exactly what has happened to Alex. So crazy.
It's really fucked up.
But yeah, so we do know that at this moment he has realized what's going on. He realizes who Alex is. So he makes a dinner for Alex, a very special dinner because he's got friends on the way.
Yep, they're coming to help.
This is the weirdest scene when the aid guy
carries him down by the stairs with the wheelchair.
It looks so weird.
Dude.
And then he sits him down and he's got this maniacal look on his face because he's like, he knows. He's like,
you enjoying your dinner?
You like that? I got some very special wine for you.
Want to drink some wine?
Oh, sure, he's like, we're all gonna have some wine. He goes, I can't have it.
He's like, he pours it and he smashes the bottle. Yeah, I'm like, God, you're break that fucking table, dude. But Alex goes to drink it.
He's drinking it.
Immediately, he's like, something's up.
Yeah.
Do you guys want some? No.
Yeah, like I said, the guy was just immediately like, I can't have it.
But he drinks it. He's like, all right, fine, fuck it. Goes in.
Okay, what else are you going to do?
What are you going to do at that point?
So at this point, though, the man gives up his hand a little bit. He tells him, he's like, so my wife, she used to
do all this stuff and just
for
let
me, and then I had to hire this man. And then Alex, again, trying to pretend. He goes, oh, does she travel?
Is she away?
Is she away right now? And he's like, she's dead. Now, I want to point out, I want to say this. I don't think Alex was responsible for her death. The story he tells us right now does not sound like it's Alex's fault.
No.
Because he tells us, he's like, after your encounter, and we're not going to use the words, after your encounter with us, I was badly beaten. She was in no good state.
Yeah.
But then he proceeds to tell us the doctors told him she had pneumonia, and that's how she went.
Yeah.
But then
he doesn't believe it.
But he says, I don't believe it. But then immediately after that, he follows it up with, it was during the flu epidemic.
Right? It's like, I don't think he had anything to do with it.
It's like, I get it. You want someone to blame. And it was a fucked up thing that happened right before she died.
Yeah.
And maybe her health was in worse shape. And maybe she was more susceptible to it.
Definitely.
I'm not denying that he might not have contributed.
But he didn't directly cause it.
It was not.
She got sick and died, man.
Right? During a flu epidemic.
If she would have just offed herself after the whole...
Yes,
that would have been different.
I would have been like, blame him 100%.
Found her in the tub, everywhere. That's different.
But what he tells us...
She went to the doctor and she died of pneumonia is what it sounds like.
During a flu epidemic. That's like the underlined part. During a flu epidemic.
An epidemic. There was much sickness at the time.
So this guy is just, I mean, again, maybe not wrongfully.
No,
but he is definitely pinning some, there's some baggage he's got that he needs to deal with. And it's not all Alex's fault.
You're blaming more than he's responsible for. I mean, kill him for doing the one thing, but not for
beating you, for the
for
other
beating
thing,
you and what he did to her.
Fine,
but kill him for that.
Don't lie about the extra.
Don't add to the man.
He's done enough horrible things. You can just punish him for those.
Yeah, you can just get him for what he actually did. It's bad enough.
But so then we see the friends show up, right?
Yeah, and they're going to do a little interview about his treatment, and this dumb motherfucker tells them all about the Beethoven thing.
All about everything.
He opens
up. She's just like, why don't you tell me more about that? And he's like, oh, okay. And he just starts, he just like mouth vomits.
Yeah, just all this stuff happened. And anytime I hear Beethoven, I want to die.
And then we see, while they're talking to him, he just falls face first into the spaghetti.
No, he says something great. He's just like, I feel like all the time that something really bad is about to happen to me at any moment.
Face into the spaghetti. They pick him up, make sure he's actually out. And then we finally see, is this why there's a muscle-bound aide?
I guess.
Because they're like, instantly they're like, get the car, put him in it.
And we're going to go lock him in a fucking room.
So then we see Alex wake up in a room. Pounding music. It's loud. He was like, he didn't even realize, because again, like, it woke him up.
Sick.
The pain.
He has the belch.
Woke him up. Right. And then he realized it was the song.
And he is begging for them to stop.
To shut it off.
To turn it off.
And you see, they give us the scene downstairs. Again, like I said.
The smile on the old man's face, though.
The group themselves had a good idea. Yeah. They were still torturing this man. That guy was getting sadistic enjoyment out of it because he did realize who this guy was.
Yeah, he did.
This is where it starts to really bleed the good guy, bad guy, right? Because these
can't
guys
really call him a good guy at this point, can we?
Well, that guy definitely not. But so philosophically, though, these people are supposed to be the good guys.
Yeah.
They are the ones that are like, you can't take away people's free
choice and liberty and all that other bullshit they were going on about. And then suddenly it's like, we're going to lock you in a room till you kill yourself and use that for our own ends. Like, you're not a good guy. Go fuck yourself.
It was rough. And so he's upstairs. He's hearing all of this music. They won't shut it off. And as he mentioned to them when they were writing the notes, he specifically said when it plays, not when any of the other things happen to him.
Just Beethoven.
Well, that's music. I'm saying anything happens to him. The violent stuff makes him physically ill. The sex stuff makes him physically ill. He did not allude to wanting to kill himself to anything other than the exposure to the music.
Yeah, that's what does it.
And so, like, the other ones make him physically sick, but there's still not the weird mental connection to actually wanting to stop it. Yeah. Right? This one is the one. And so they know that.
Yep.
They are trying to make him kill himself.
That's
and they thought they succeeded.
Oh, yeah, he jumps out the window.
They want us to think he succeeded.
Yeah.
But again, much like you were trying to say about the water earlier, I will point out specifically about this. And like we said during Groundhog Day,
like a
this is
two-story
not
building.
Tall enough. Even though he aimed himself. I'll give him credit.
He did try to go head first.
Well, and there was stone and metal furniture. He at least
try.
had a better shot than Bill Murray did, but it was still just not that high.
Yeah. Got to go higher. You need at least 4 stories.
Something. He should have went to the roof itself, not through the window. I know he couldn't get there. Yeah. I know he was locked in. I get it. But I'm just
surprised
saying.
The window was unlocked.
Too. I was like, oh, they didn't take that out?
I guess they wanted him to jump.
I guess so. It was crazy. They could have just left a revolver in the room.
Yeah, also true.
Now is the end. He goes to the hospital. We get one comical moment. He's in the hospital.
He's all fucked up and bandaged and
everywhere. He got messed up bad.
Yeah.
And we hear him like groaning in pain, right? He's like, and then we hear in like an answer to him a female moan, and we don't know where it's coming from or what's going on at first.
It goes back and forth
for a minute, and then finally we see the nurse comes out from the other bed with the doctor.
They were banging. Oh God, he's awake. He's out of his coma.
She didn't realize that it wasn't the doctor
making that noise.
And finally, she was like, "Oh, that's coming from behind me."
That's from behind me.
Last of the comedy. So he's now getting better.
Yep, slowly but surely.
But now we have the problem. The one government is we see losing favor. The totalitarian. There's definitely not going to be more of this
treatment
in the future.
Yeah.
So the good guys. I don't know which way we want to say it. The ones who kidnapped him. One, they kept the government from getting in, taking full control now. But then we see the minister.
He comes in.
So now it means that some part of that government is still intact.
Still in power.
And they are still wanting to use this guy as a poster boy. Oh, we almost skipped over the
slides.
The slides. So they test him to see where he's at.
The psychology. The shrink comes in. It's like, here, look at these slides and fill in what you think the other guy would say.
And basically what we get from the slides is the violence is back.
Yeah, the conditioning has worn off.
But the the chemical castration
is still there, because the last one with the naked chick in the picture.
He says, in and out would be fun, but I'm busy.
I'm just here to check the meter. It was a pretty funny joke.
It was a funny joke, but it definitely clearly says that he is not sexually interested still.
That's going to make it worse, right?
If there's no release anywhere.
Other release but violence.
And I think the implication is the minister knows that, right? Like, he seems like he's got like sinister ideas on what they can use him for.
Use this guy for.
And it's probably going to be to go against this other political... Again, he is now just a pawn for the... Well, he has been for a while now. Yeah. Pawn for these political groups.
And they offer him a good job and all this shit.
They tell him... don't you worry about that guy, the writer.
About it.
We've got him put away.
He's put away
because he was subversive. He was writing about things we don't want, which means he was saying this government's trying to quench our thoughts and our free ideals.
Yeah, so in jail he must go.
Like I said, who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy?
I don't know.
Where are we at anymore?
There are none.
Exactly.
We all suck.
Well, and
equally.
then the movie wraps with all the fanfare. He buys them those speakers and they're busting out "Ode to Joy."
Oh yeah,
different Beethoven song. And this song is what fully unlocks him back to normal.
Yeah, he's having the fantasy in his head of
having sex again. Which up until then, we had still assumed that part was
And the last
locked.
line of the movie is like, "Oh, I was cured, all right." Credits.
And so again...
so I guess he's back to normal?
But is normal good
for
normal?
him? I don't
like his
know.
normal, right? Like, so is he cured, or is he back to who he used to be cured?
I don't know.
Which one of those is what this totalitarian government wanted? Do they have what they wanted? Are they being tricked? There are so many layers that the movie ends on that it's just like, I don't fucking know. But that again,
we could do multiple part series breaking down this fucking the end of this movie.
I'm glad I'm sure you all heard how we started. We didn't think we were going to have as much fun as obviously we did.
Yeah, this was more fun than I was expecting.
But it's because we did exactly what we told you guys we would do. We didn't focus on the parts of the movie that generally everybody else focuses on. We tried to focus on some of the
higher thought level of everything
and the jovial parts that you can get.
You can find comedy where you can, people.
Right. But yeah, I think this was good. I think we had a better time than we ever expected.
Yeah, me too.
And we can definitely say some of that's the spear, I think.
Yeah, this was
good. You know how we are. We've finished now, so we'll give you a bit more wrap up on this. Infused with tangerine. I don't know if you can spot brought out tangerine.
It's got an orangey flavor.
But it's citrusy.
Yeah, citrusy.
I mean, and it's orange citrus, right? Like, because lemon citrus is different, lime citrus is different, orange citrus is its own thing. This is definitely in that tangerine, tangelo, all the clementines. All those different types of orange. It's in that. It's very citrusy.
Yeah.
It's light.
Yeah, this might be my favorite IPA so far.
Well, I mean, again, for an IPA, IPAs are usually strong, right? This is only 4.5.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, that's what I was telling you, man. Like, this is a light. This is easy. You could drink this all day.
I was gonna say I could drink this all day.
And most IPAs aren't like that. Most IPAs you have two, and you're like, man, I need a water.
I need
to take a break
else.
a minute. This one, dude, you could drink this all day.
Oh yeah.
This is another one of those ones, especially with the citrus. I would love this on a hot summer day.
Dude, barbecue,
right?
Barbecue beer, right here.
It would be perfect.
It would be perfect.
Great. Well, I think that's everything. But yeah, so Bo, what are we gonna be drinking next week?
All right. Well, next week we got Founders Brewing Company's Centennial IPA.
All right. You guys know how that works. That's our clue. I do want to, before we mention anything else, say that's another one for Founders. We are officially getting to the point to where we are hitting a lot of recurring beer companies.
Yeah, right. They're good too.
They are. I'm happy to see what they got, because last time we had a stout.
Yeah, dude, we did. I don't think we've had an IPA from them, have we?
No, so it's good. It's gonna be nice to see the two ends of the market here.
I like a stout. Let's see what they do with something I don't really like.
That's right. So again, guys, don't forget, this was our game. So Centennial. That's what you want to focus on there.
Yep.
It's definitely not the IPA part.
No, not the IPA part.
But so drop those comments. Let us know if you have any thoughts, guesses.
Yeah,
hit us up.
Throw them up there. We want to see it.
I think we're done now, man.
All right, good. I need a shower. I don't like this anymore.
You bastards! You horny bastards!